Hi, Darren.
Hey, Brett, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Am I the only one in it?
No, there's about I hit admit all to about 15 people, so they're
Oh,
probably
okay.
they're all connected.
Hello.
You just connected first somehow. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes till. We'll probably get started at anywhere from 2 minutes after to 5 minutes after, depending on if the right people. If as long as Julie gets logged in, we should start close.
Sounds good.
Hey, Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, were you able to get logged into members.westernbca.org?
Yeah.
Excellent.
No problem.
Anybody else have problems getting logged into members.westernbca.org?
Nope.
Excellent.
Pretty easy. Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
That actually went really smooth.
Well, in order for voting to happen, which is kind of a big primary focus of this meeting, everyone has to get logged in, and I'm just paranoid that there could be technical difficulties, and we have troubleshooting steps in case they come up. But
How to get me back my channel 2 and my channel 28 on TV?
channel 2 and 28. Oh yeah.
BS basically went gone bye-bye.
I don't
With
know how to get
DirecTV.
those channels. I don't know. That's a tough one. Too tough for me. And we are being recorded, by the way, just so everyone knows. I'm going to fill my beverage so that I'm ready, and I'll be back.
For CJ Stroud. Then we got rolled up on the Jacksonville game. We listed him with a thigh injury and a quad injury all week on the practice center. And then he was able obviously to start and play this ball game. Take another hit in that area. I had the play he got back. That was the play I think they were trying to attack the end zone. Then when it was third as well, they just said, all right, this is good position for the ball. And we go on. Go. From 58 yards away to extend the Houston lead.
Hoping to be.
It's in front. Third correction.
Oh, I like that.
Man. Oh, probably has money back.
That's good. It's something I think it needs to be. You know,
It's a college. Well, we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the English special. But, Mike, Charlie Schultz. We can talk last week. Jackson, 24-7 punch.
I'm muting everybody so we get stop the crosstalk. If you want to unmute yourself, go ahead.
On demand. And you call it whatever it is you like. That's important is making the holidays bright. See important is what giving the holidays bright sense. Look at the game of Friday presented by the opening into the end zone. They go on and doing the speed. For throughout the day, they have made most of Wilson's afternoon very challenging. With that 63 Texans in play. They'll kick it off. That pressure you talked about. Jumper did not earlier kick it off. That pressure you talked about. Jumper did not earlier kick it off. That pressure you talked about.
It's starting.
No, we still got people joining in. They're filling up my screen. Awesome.
Today, isn't it? Watching that taking it to the get the pocket with those big plays downfield. The Jacksonville Falcons. Today, the great thing is supposed to go to the Broncos. Those who land are just a little bit of the third quarter. Wilson. He escaped one tackle and dives for 31.
We still got people joining, so is Julie joined yet? I'm trying to find her name in this list. I know she's having computer problems.
The score 16.9 points per game. Then we will talk about last season, but this, by comparison, this year they're up to 2.5 points per game. That's what they're 13th for the NFL. They've been relative here this afternoon. All of 7 on third down.
I can see Julie's camera. Just she's got it muted.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to find out, scrolling back and forth. All right, cool. Julie, say hi when you're ready. I'm still getting lots of people into the waiting room coming in, so.
So I can see Julie now. She still has her microphone muted.
Okay, cool. Yep, people still coming in. Yeah, we'll get started around from 2 minutes to 5 minutes after, basically once the waiting room slows down. Yeah, I love to start at noon, but it seems like there's always somebody 1 or 2 minutes late, which is fine. 39 people. All right, guys. There's Jules. Hey, Jules. You got to unmute yourself. No?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to your sign-in page and be on the Zoom meeting at the same time, and my computer doesn't like that idea.
Okay, well, to be helpful, I set up two computers here at where I'm at, so I can have two screens open at once. If I can help you in any way, let me know.
Yeah, I have the other computer for minutes.
And is Nikki Biscano in yet? Because I eventually want to make her the
Okay,
Zoom
I'm gonna have
admin
to.
at some point.
I'm raising my videos.
Not having two computers has always been the biggest challenge for me.
Well, I have two, but I have one doing minutes and one doing the
Yeah,
the Zoom.
isn't that bad? We need like three to do a meeting now. It's like crazy. I just want the agenda up on my left side the whole time. And then I can have other, like my president's notes and other stuff up on the other side, and then the Zoom up on another side. So it's like, whew. All right.
Okay, I think I got it.
So why don't you go ahead and start whatever you'd like with, let's see, hold on.
So I'm going to attendance.
So yeah, we're starting with the guest sign in, and let me, I'm going in there too. So you go to attendance and choose the attendance for December 3rd. And there's a paper pencil to the right, click that. And you'll get a long list of everybody, and you'll see a red check mark next to their name, which means they're all marked absent. And you're just gonna touch that check mark, and that'll mark them present. Just
Okay.
mark them present when you see their name. And this will keep a digital record for you too, so you don't have to write it by hand on a piece of paper.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Okay, so I only have a tiny bit of a screen, so I don't know if you want to do like a roll call where people can call out their name. But these are not, let me just, nobody talk for a minute and let me see what I can get done. And
I'm
then
gonna
I can.
I'll mute everybody. Julie, you might have to unmute yourself. Okay, I'll mute everybody, and then you might have to unmute yourself to talk.
Okay.
I think I might have got muted too. Still got two more people joining the waiting room.
Darren,
Yes.
this is in no alphabetical or there's
Go to participants, go to more and go to participants. And then it has the people unmuted first, and then it's in alphabetical order all the way down. And
okay, no,
if you-
I'm talking about the list on Western BCA that I'm signing them in on.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were talking about the participant list on signing people in.
So if you click on the word last name, I think it should sort it. Yeah, if you touch the word last name, it'll
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I love you. Michelle, it's Michelle Jensen, right? Just shake your head.
Yes. Oh yeah, Nikki, I was waiting to see when you're logged in to make you a co-host. I'll work on that now once I find the button.
Spear. Jonathan Elder, are you a guest?
He's IT, it's our IT website guy.
Okay,
He wrote the
okay.
system. He's there to help you if you have problems.
Anything you need, let me know.
Thank you. Danny Nielsen, is that a guest?
Danny, I'm asking you to unmute and let us know whether you're a guest or a voting member. Danny?
As far as I know, I'm a voting member. I belong to the BCA.
What league do you play out of?
Emerald Valley.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
just because you belong to the BCA is not the same thing as being a voting member. Are you a player rep?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
you're
a
not a
player.
voting member.
Okay, I'm just a guest then.
great. That just means you can't vote on the issues is all it means, okay? You can listen
Okay.
and chime in and participate verbally, but not with the vote.
Arlen, is it you and
Tamitha?
Tamitha?
No, just me.
Okay,
Am I
thank you.
unmuted?
Nikki Biscona.
And Chad's with me too.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, guys, I'm going as fast as I can. Lombok, Danny Nelson, Jennifer Spear. There's someone on here as ROZIP. I don't know who that is.
Roz's iPhone, who's that?
Am I making a mess if I talk right now, Julie?
It's not moving, so we're okay so far.
Okay. On your, next to where it has your name or your face, if your name on here is weird, there's 3 dots on the right corner. If you click it, it lets you rename yourself. That way you can change iPad to your name. And if there's 2 people with you, maybe you do that. It might help, Julie.
I see where mine says iPad, but I don't see where to change it to my name.
It's the 3 dots
Do
in
you
the upper
see
right
your-
corner. All right.
I have 3 dots in the center of my iPad.
Oh, that might be.
It says full screen, split screen, side view.
I see Trina, so it's Dave and Trina.
And who works on iPads, guys? You guys have, I'm an idiot myself. So do you guys know if it's different on an iPad than a computer? I'm like, you run your mouse over it and over the top corner and the little 3 dots pop up normally that are like invisible until you run your mouse across them. Yours is iPad. I can change. I might be able to change it.
Andrew A, is that Andrew England?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm on an iPhone and the 3 dots doesn't give me the ability to edit my name on my screen name on here.
Darren, if you can make me the
Yeah, I'm trying to
co-host,
do
do
that.
the
How do I
same
do
thing.
that?
Go to the 3 dots
On
on
my
next to my face
Okay,
and
got
click
it.
it, and it will say make a co-host or make a host, and I can help change people's names too once that's updated.
Okay. So I made you a host. I just want to make sure it stays recording though.
Yep. And then I will make this one.
John Evans, you're not a player rep, right? You're a guest? Thank you.
Look,
Hit record again, maybe, Darren. It shows that it's recording on my line now, but I would just see if you can.
and I gotta hold my phone in the right
Okay.
spot or
Now everything's moving.
Yeah, sorry, it might have been me. I just looked at a different screen to see who was in. I can put it back, Jules. Did I put it back or no? You want to
No,
move?
just leave it where it is now.
Sorry.
I don't want it to move again.
I didn't realize when I changed so Nikki, I sent you a request to record. Did you get it?
Yeah, I said yes to that.
But you should have said recording in progress.
Yeah, let's try again. If
Sam
I
and
click anything,
Vanessa are both here?
can you say that again, Julie?
Are Sam and Vanessa both? Okay, thank you. All right, I already have Brad Haydu, Tammy Culbertson, Chris Moreno, Lawrence Frampton. Oh my goodness, I'm on page 5 of 6. We're getting there.
This is the fun part of the meeting, everybody.
Yeah,
Wrong.
I'm having fun.
Being facetious.
Did you say fun or funny?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sue Ledger has 2 accounts on here. She's listed twice, but there's 2 different numbers, so I'm not sure which one, or does it matter which one?
Yeah, it matters. It's got to be whichever one she's signing in with, otherwise she won't be able to vote. So she's on here, right?
I'm on here.
Okay. Are you signed in to the members.western BCA?
Let me check. One moment.
Because if you are, there's a in the upper
All
left
right.
hand corner, it'll show your
Holy
name
crap.
and an ID number underneath your name.
Okay, 1 minute.
Julie, should I leave people in the waiting room right now, or should I tell you when I'm letting them in?
Yeah, leave them in the waiting room right now.
Okay, I let Bob in, but I'll leave the other one in the waiting room for a minute.
I also have Juliana Moore is not on the list. She is a player rep, but she's not on my list to sign her in.
Are you ready for me? I've got Sue Ledger 4037.
Okay, I'll sign you in under that one.
Why do I have 2?
No idea.
There's a lot of people who have duplicates with CSI numbers being updated and things like that. When the system automatically pulls the data from CSI or from
So
Fargo,
how do I go
it's
about?
created duplicates. So I've got to clean that stuff up.
Okay, well, thank you.
And Juliana Moore, she does not have a name on this list.
So, John, can you add her to the attendance roll, please?
Yeah. Do we know what role she is?
They're
She is
doing
a
roll
player
call
rep.
back right
Player
now,
rep.
and I
Okay.
just speak. It's the only way I've been able to unmute and less than unmute her. So that's just people in it.
I know. So there. Aaron, Micah, Stephanie, Crystal. Nancy Mizor.
All right, figured out how to change my name, so I'm muting myself.
Thank you.
Mizor. Raquel Insurance. I don't know.
No, I have it. There's a button.
Ariana Miller. Are you a guest?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just a guest.
Thank you. Zach Lutz. Zach Lutz is a guest. Okay, Darren, do you have people in the waiting room?
Nikki probably does. She's the host admin
Yep.
up for Zoom.
I let Bob Olson in already, and then Cody, Graham, and Carly Watrous.
Okay, I have Carly. I don't know Cody Graham. Are you a guest, Cody?
Hold on, I'm letting them in right now, and then you can ask. They're not quite here yet. Okay, there we go.
Yes. Oh my God. Cody, are you a guest?
Let's see, Cody might be muted.
He's a division manager under Canada.
Okay, I don't have him listed as a player rep though.
He's a guest.
Okay. And then I still don't know who this ROZIP is.
Is that me by any chance? This is Rose Wilson.
Yep,
It's
that's
gonna
it
be
is.
you because I don't have you otherwise.
Okay, that's probably my, because I go by Rosie, but that's probably PCL, like my email.
I think I have everybody. I don't know if we should do a roll call.
Well,
I got two more that are in the waiting room. Vanessa, Rabito, and Elaine. Oh, and another one. Hold on, I'll let those ones in. Elaine,
And
Vanessa.
Julie Sheris is trying to log in, but she had to reload the Zoom app. She's the player rep that contacted me.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at my phone yet. Sorry.
Me neither.
It's totally okay. That's why I figured I'd just tell you this way.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I saw you texting, but
I got another one too, but I don't know how to pronounce the name. Mike Littman is in chat asking, he doesn't remember his name being heard. Did you say his?
yeah, I have him checked. I was only listing the names that I had questions about.
Okay, there's one more in the
What
waiting
name
room.
can't you pronounce? Can you spell it or?
Yes, DYAMELLE.
Diamel, yeah, she's a league
Thank you.
operator out of Yakima.
IML, I need to know what account she's signing in under because she's got two as well.
Okay, I'm letting her in right now. She probably couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you
Okay,
won't hear
now
your
she's-
name if your name is typed on the screen. She won't call your name because she can read your name. She's only calling out the ones she cannot read. So it's okay not to have heard your name. What we're going to try to do is, I see a total of 63 people logged into Zoom. I'm going to ask John Elder if he can get a live tally of what Julie's doing and see if 63 are marked as present.
Yeah, I will check. Give me just a second.
So yeah, we're going to try to match the number Zoom has to the number Julie marks present. That's our goal.
Well, it won't match up because the online list doesn't have a spot for guests.
Okay. I see. That sounds like a future feature enhancement.
I would feel a little better, honestly, if we did a just a roll call real quick.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out an orderly way to do a roll call. Do you want to go ahead and lead that, or do you want me to? What would you like?
I'll just do a roll call by my list here.
Okay.
Unmute
Okay.
everybody.
Well, don't unmute everybody, but when we're all done, if someone doesn't hear their name, then they can let me know.
Okay.
I have Robin Adams, Vic Albertson, Andrew Anglin, Chad Bisconer, Nikki Bisconer, Karen Bryson, Rob Cameron, Dave Chavez, Trina Chavez, Michael Cho, Tammy Conabear, Stephanie Crystal, Tammy Culbertson, Micah Cully, Amber Davis, Michael Deichman, Brittany DeWalt, Elaine Eberly, Jonathan Elder, Roger Forrester, Lawrence Frampton, Julie Fraser, Tim Fraser, Tara Fry, Arlen Groshong, Brad Haydu, Bill Henderson, Linda Knight, Johnny Landis, Sue Ledger, Izzy Lemus, Mike Littman, Suzanne Mackey, Steve Marker, Jackie Mays, Jackson McDonald, Nancy Measor, Raquel Minjarez, Chris Moreno, Shirley Morgan, Bob Olson, Alyssa Olson, Justin Palmbach, Christy Palmer, Vanessa Rabito, Sam Rabito, Jim Roberts, Doug Schultz, Sean Self, Tracy Self, Ed Slade, Jennifer Spear, Carly Watros, Stephen Weekly, Rose Wilson. I know that Diamel is here, but I don't know what account to put her under. And then I also have guests, Danny Nielsen, Ariana Miller, Zach Lutz, and Cody Graham.
I didn't hear my name.
Who is this?
Becky Potter.
Gotcha, thank you.
I
Hey,
also
Julie.
didn't hear my name.
Who's
Your
that?
name is?
Sorry.
What's
I
your
didn't
name?
hear my
Julie, I
name
didn't
either.
hear mine either.
Say your name if you didn't. What's your name? I can't see.
Michelle
Who it is.
Jensen.
Michelle Jensen.
Yep. Player rep voting member.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Who else?
John
John
Evans.
Oh, John
Sorry.
Evans, you're a guest, sorry.
That's okay.
And
Thanks.
then Sharis is wanting in the room.
Okay. Oh God, what is her last name?
Lambert.
Lambert.
Okay, yeah.
And then I still need confirmation for Diamel.
You did not say Julie Moore or Juliana Moore, sorry.
Juliana Moore, that's the one that I don't have. I don't have a listing for Juliana Moore.
It's for you,
She's not
John.
on my list. She is a player rep.
She is a player rep.
So
Yes.
John Elder will please add Juliana Moore to the list that Julie's doing.
Doing it right now, almost done.
And then I
Demonster
still need confirmation from Diamel which account she is signed in on.
says
Actually,
number.
Julie,
Sorry, go ahead.
Juliana, isn't that Van? What was her
Yeah.
other last name?
Those are my
Dan
middle.
Ryan Moore.
Dan
Yes.
Ryan's my. Yeah, can't understand what's being said.
Julie, I also need to make sure that my voting account is registered under my new email because my old one was unrecoverable, so it just abandoned the account.
I don't.
My new one should be
have
under
an
Spider.
email on here. I just have a number.
Stephen, I'll text that information to John Elder and he'll fix it, okay?
Very good, thank you.
John, I'm sending you a text.
Yeah.
I just
I
actually had
know.
a new one today.
Can you give me that the first part of your email, like Cider 1911?
Yeah, it's SIDER1911@gmail.com.
They got it.
That should be the one that's current. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the question is about Demel. She had put in chat, just a league operator from Yakima, number 2058. I don't know if that is helpful. Are you
No.
talking about her player number?
Her email address she logs into the
Yeah, there's, I don't know, there should be a number. I don't know where Sue found it.
When you log into members.westernbca.org, the number is beneath your name in the upper left-hand corner. And for those of you that are wondering, that's just the internal ID number for our database.
So Dimel, we need you to log into members.westernbca.org and see if you can get that ID number.
What email do you log into? The members.westernbca.org? That's the
Yeah,
question.
that's for Dimel, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, you just
Otherwise-
sent that to.
Yeah,
Dimel.
I sent it to everybody by mistake. I should have just messaged her.
Okay, and I'm letting Tim back in.
Hey, Darren,
Yeah.
I have a question about a player rep for Thurston County, Doug Gibb. So I guess Julie, do you see
Yes.
Doug Gibb anywhere?
Yes.
Yes, you have him. Okay, thank you.
Well, I don't, is he here? Is he in
Yeah,
attendance?
he's trying to. I ended up having COVID. I was going to have 4 people over at my house playing pool, but Vanessa and I have COVID, so.
No.
Okay, so
I'll tell him to keep working on it, okay?
and
Yes,
Nikki will tell us when he gets admitted past the waiting room. So that's why they go into a waiting room. So Nikki
Oh,
can tell
gotcha.
you.
Yeah, I'll pay attention to it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. I think Julie, it's pretty fair to say we have a quorum.
Oh, kidding.
Yep.
Are you okay if I move along, Jules, or do you want me to give you more time?
I still need to get Diamel signed in. I still need Juliana Moore signed in, but I have those listed so I can circle back and just say circle back. I can come back and make sure that's good.
Real quick, Juliana Van Ryan Moore has been added to the attendance, but you'll probably have to click on the attendance button on the left-hand side there and reload that sheet in order to see it.
I need to reload the sheet.
Yeah, unless you want me to just mark her as present right now.
No, I'd rather have it listed, but I don't. Can you walk me through redoing the
Yeah,
sheet?
all you have to do is on the left-hand side in that menu, click on the word attendance.
So I exit attendance.
Yeah, if you just click save or click cancel, either way, it saves automatically. So,
Okay. I click save and then I'll go back to attendance.
yep, and then open the sheet back.
Sorry, I've never done
That's fine.
this.
It's brand new system, no worries.
I actually have a question about the brand new system.
Okay, we'll let those two finish and then we'll address your question.
It's telling me no data now. Oh,
On the regular meeting?
yeah, I'm going to regular meeting.
Hold on a second here.
Yeah.
Okay.
A long time ago. No, I had first one, then I was like, where are we? No. Then that one I have it. I just need a really hard fight and it didn't. Like, you have to have perfect.
So you're clicking on that paper and pencil icon and it's saying no data?
Yeah, I go into admin attendance down to December 3rd, regular meeting. I hit the paper and pencil. It opens. Oh, now it's there.
Okay. I was going to say that
It
was
opened up and said no data. So, okay. So Juliana Moore is still not there.
She's listed as Juliana Van Ryan Moore.
Reactions. Juliana Van. Oh, let me go. Hold on. I have to change it again.
You do this route, it erases. Weird.
Van Ryan Moore.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. And then I still need Diamel, which one she's on.
Okay, give me just a second on that.
And then I don't know if we can make it so people, I know this is a pain in the butt with me having this up. I guess I don't need to have it kept up, but I can't see who's talking when you start talking. So I don't know if we can have people say who they are when they start talking. Just give me a first name so that I get it correct.
I'll make sure, ask everyone to do that. Please state your first name before you start speaking, because with 3 different splashfuls of Zoom screens, we can't see who's talking. And if people don't know your voice, they don't know who it is. So.
And Julie, this is Christy.
Uh-huh.
I just had another player rep message me saying she's logging in shortly.
Okay, I don't want to put anybody in though until they are
I know.
actually. Okay.
I was just letting you know they were going to be in the waiting room shortly.
I imagine we're going to get more people showing up as, you know, we always do.
We're at 60% of our total people, close to it. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. So Julie, Jim Roberts, I have a quick question. My picture's disappeared. Are you still showing me there?
Yep.
I hear you, so.
Just the beard.
I can see your chin.
We can see your beard only, Jim.
Well,
Can Dwayne in?
and I can't see where to fix the picture thing on here.
Is it a laptop or just move the screen back or sit further back? Sit further back.
It's an iPad.
Sit lower or raise the iPad. Those are your 2 choices. Raise the iPad up a couple inches. Now I can see your nose. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
perfect.
it.
We can see it. And Lisa's phone is
How do I get my picture back on my screen?
The
I have
view
no
button.
idea.
The view button in the upper right corner, I believe. View, gallery, or speaker. Right, view.
Hey, Christy, was it Lisa saying she was going to be coming? Okay. So she must be here if it's Lisa's phone. And then, Nikki, did you say you let Dwayne Payne in?
Unmute yourself, Nikki. We can't hear you.
Sorry. And Dimel's email is DEECASTI.
That's not the email I need. I
Nikki,
need the
that's from
number.
Tammy. We want to know what Dimel is
Oh,
using.
That's
got it.
fine. Her ID number is 3239. That's the active account.
Thank you.
Oh, great.
We have
And
made it
again,
to
Dwayne
attendance.
Payne is here.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else who didn't hear their name? Because now I have 7 pages.
I think we did it. This is awesome.
Great job.
I'm here, Tarish Lamberty.
All right.
What's your last name?
Lamberty, Lamberti.
I got you already. We got you.
Okay, cool.
Double checking.
Okay, it sounds like everyone's signed in. A quorum's determined. We've the next item is to call this meeting to order at 12:33 p.m.
Half hour.
I promise we'll get better, folks. We had to do this electronic new voting system, and I promise we will make logging in and attendance way easier in the future. I'm not sure how yet. But I know John Elder's listening. He's the one I'm going to ask. So, okay, so I'd like to get a motion to accept the current agenda. So moved by Sue Ledger. Is there a second? Are you seconding it, Christy Palmer? So the motion was moved by Sue Ledger and seconded by Christy Palmer. Okay, all those abstaining from accepting the agenda, raise your, I want to do this part of the voting. Do you want to do it electronically or do you want to do it, Julie?
I can't see the screen, so if we
You
do
wanna-
it.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
All right. I think we're just going to try it electronically. If you're abstaining from approving the motion to accept the current agenda, speak up and say your first name.
Most people don't have their picture on, so.
That's why they're saying their first name. So how many people are abstaining, just not voting on whether or not we should accept it? Should be nobody or 1 or 2 people, historically speaking. Okay, I heard nobody speak up. Last chance to speak up and abstain. Okay. I'm gonna wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 0 abstaining. All those opposed, if you're opposed, speak up as one at a time, or best you can, say your name. If you're opposed to accepting the agenda, speak up, say your first name. We'll wait a minute or 2. Anybody else opposed? Anybody? Bueller, anyone? Sorry, couldn't help it. Okay, I see 0. I hear 0 opposed, 0 abstained. Julie, the motion to accept the current agenda carries unanimously.
Got it.
Okay. Second item up for bid is approval of meeting minutes from June 25th. Do I need a motion for that? I think so.
It's not a motion. You're just asking for approval.
Okay, is anyone abstaining from approving the meeting minutes? If you want to abstain, speak up, say your name. You want to abstain from approving the meeting minutes? Thank you for moving this along, everyone. So we can get to real business. I hear 0 abstains from accepting the meeting minutes. Anyone opposed to accepting the meeting minutes, speak up and say your first name. Don't forget to unmute yourself because so I hear, wait a minute or so longer to be opposed to accepting the meeting minutes. Speak up and say your name. Okay, Julie, I have 0 people opposed and 0 abstain. The motion or approval is unanimous. Whew, take a deep breath. That was that's like the hardest part of the meetings. I gotta tell everybody. Okay, so next item is President's Statement. I did write a very long one. One thing I did want to mention, agenda item 2 is not specifically typed properly. I'm going to ask Carly Watrous that's under new business, to amend the wording of the motion when she makes the motion. So she submitted an agenda item. I called her, talked to her, and I thought I typed it right. She contacted me after the agenda went out and said I didn't type the wording exactly how she meant it. So she'll explain that when we get to item 2 of new business. Okay. I just want to start off by welcoming everybody to our quarterly meeting. I'd like to start off with some great news. Chinook Winds Casino has agreed to offer us dates for our regional tournaments through 2028. We were able to secure the dates the board asked for and talked about in the prior meetings, with one exception, and that only moved by a week. So to view these dates, you can go to westernbca.org/calendar and we'll be sharing those on the Facebook group as well. So that's real exciting that the casino as our partner, and in my opinion, our most important partner, because without them, there's probably not an event. They are so pleased that they want to extend us dates through 2028. Just want to make a note that just before this meeting, we turned on post approval on Facebook so we could control the narrative and news and all the details before and after this meeting. So we want them to stay on top of our Facebook group. Also, want to let everyone know the Western BCA is no longer paying storage for the Predator pool table. The table isn't sold, but we're considering raffling it off in the future. The only other thing I wanted to mention was we had some agenda items that I didn't put on there, and I wanted to talk about them and let the person who brought them up talk about them. And one of those items was from Izzy Lemus. He stated, and I'm reading this verbatim, he stated, "We need volunteers to be dress code enforcers, not referees. Referees are paid to watch shots, to deal with slow playing. Dress code enforcement responsibility should fall on anyone else, but not our refs." I did not put it on the agenda because that is our current policy and procedure that the Western BCA officials are in charge of enforcing.
Getting it going.
So I'm going to ask Izzy Lemus to address this issue. Please unmute, please mute yourself. Izzy, could you speak up and bring up whatever you wanted to about volunteers, dress code enforcers, please? Izzy, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha. Let people know what you were thinking.
So basically, from my understanding, and it's been happening for quite a few years. And again, I understand after talking to Julian and some other individuals that it was made clear to the referees that they are not to be dress code enforcers. But I believe that it's whether it's happening at a lesser extent, but it's still happening, because I know for a fact, for example, during a team event, and again, I heard one player basically complain about what another player was wearing. Don't know the specifics, but they right away went to a referee and complained.
Okay.
I believe that if we are going to have dress code enforcers, then people need to know, and that's where I think part of the problem is that people don't know who the dress code enforcers are and who they should be going to when one player believes another player is in violation of the dress code.
Okay.
And another important part of it is not just what the dress code is, but how it's actually enforced. Because throughout the years, since we put the dress code into place, I've seen the dress code being enforced on players 5 minutes before their match. I've seen dress code being enforced on players while they're playing their match against their opponent. And I've also seen it to the point where they're even being ordered, you need to go change now, even though you're about to start your match, causing the opponent to wait. And the other thing I've also been told, it hasn't personally happened to me because I've never had a dress code violation. I'm just hearing this from players that how there's some discrepancy because the unification, how our dress code enforcers are viewing it, or what they're reading the rules to be, how one dress code enforcer says, I'm okay with what this player is wearing. I don't have a problem with it. But then another one comes over and says, no, I disagree. I don't like what the same player is wearing, so they need to go change. I think there needs to be, I think our players at the coast need to know who they should go to when it comes to
Let
who
me
are
answer
dress code.
that. Let me answer that right away. They should go to the Western BCA. Yeah. Go ahead, Julie.
So at the last you're totally right, Izzy. We have had some issues in the past. At the last meeting, I specifically asked to be part of the meeting where the refs and the tournament directors got together at the beginning of the event, went over the dress code, answered any questions, because I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page and everybody understood. In the past, we have had some tournament directors that did not give that information to the enforcers very well. So I think at this last event, I was very happy. It looked like everybody was on the same page. Everybody understood what the dress code, and going forward, I would like to continue doing that, just so if there are questions. I also had several tournament directors come to me at the event to ask for clarification if they weren't sure. Again, that's what we need to do. As far as players going to refs, you said you saw a player go to the ref. Did the ref then handle the situation, or did the ref then send them to a tournament director? Because that's what they should have done.
I was in the middle of playing my match, so I do know.
So a player going to a ref doesn't mean that that ref then handled the situation. Because I did have several refs come to me several different times saying, this has been brought to my attention. And I, went to Dave Chavez or Trina or whoever was the tournament director at the time. So while these issues have been a problem in the past, I think most of them have already been looked at. As far as, we do have a written procedure on how it's supposed to be handled. Nobody's supposed to be talked to during their match, but I don't have a problem with someone saying something before the match. But there's warnings and stuff like that. And maybe that can be clearer, and maybe that's something we should sit down and work on and make that clearer. But I think most of your issues have been addressed and, knock on wood, found a way to fix.
Yeah, because that's just one thing I know one of the players has, actually quite a few players have brought to my attention, is telling a player that they're in violation of the dress code 5 minutes before their match starts, and expect to go, leave the casino, go back to the hotel room, and come back.
I don't know that ever happened.
That should not be happening, period, ever, okay?
It has happened. That's why I wanted to bring
won't be happening in the future. If someone needs someone to change,
People need to understand and know the dress code and where they're supposed to wear, and then they won't have that issue.
Sending them to change when their match is about to start delays the tournament. That's not okay. They should change after their match, and that's it.
And Sam
has his hand up.
Got his hand up for a while. He's
I know, but
very
this is
polite.
still the president's statement, and I'm just trying to get through the business I didn't cover. So,
okay,
Sam, can you make it really quick, please?
I'm done for now. I mean, that's it for me.
You can't add an agenda item to the president's statement, okay?
I'm
This is a
reading
point of
what I
order. You
didn't
can't
put
change
on
the
there.
agenda because we've already accepted it.
The agenda isn't changing.
There was a
I'm
motion,
reading-
it passed and everything. You can't make it part of your presidential statement to add an agenda item. You can't do that.
I understand. Okay.
Just move
I'm
on.
just- All right, gotcha. I am
Can
gonna
an item
continue.
not be discussed? I mean, there's no vote being called for. Don't things come up
All right, well, I'm gonna
organically and be discussed?
I'm going to continue with my statement and state what was not included on the agenda, because I'm not trying to, so it's not on the agenda and still isn't, okay? That's how I see it. So there was one other item submitted by Izzy about clarifying brackets for singles, bronze 1 and 2, silver 1 and 2, before applications submitted to the coast. Do you want to clarify that, Izzy?
Well, going over the policies and procedures, being on that committee that just took place, it's clearly stated there that the caps on those particular brackets, and all brackets are supposed to be available to all players when they go to sign up to playing at Chinook Wins.
Okay.
And to me, and I'm just gonna say it, initially when we started the Fargo system, it would have made complete sense to me why not to list those caps when we first started the Fargo system, because we didn't have the data to back it up as to how big each one of those individual brackets, whether it be silver 1, silver 2, bronze 1, or bronze 2, how big they were going to be, because we were just initiating the Fargo system. But now it's been a few years, and I believe we have more than enough data to fall back on, where we should be able to show our players when they're signing up to play at the coast what the caps are for every bracket they choose to enter, and
Okay.
have those available prior to signing up for the coast, not waiting a week before the coast to find out which bracket you're going to be playing in.
Okay.
That's all I have to
Well,
say.
thank you. All right. So that was all I wanted to include about what wasn't included. I think we're going to move on to the vice president's statement. Tammy, do you have a vice president statement or tournament registrar, whatever you have? Tammy Culbertson?
No, oh, yes, no, go ahead, move on.
Treasurer's statement. Jackie Mays, would you please unmute yourself and tell us about the books and the money and that fun stuff?
Am I there? Okay, I'm there. I sent to Julie October, which is a very big one. That's most of our tournament. So I'm going to read that one, and then I have submitted to the board and to our officers the November, which is like only $100 difference. So I'll just kind of run through that too. So as of October 31st, we had $181,603.90. We brought in $31,719.94, and we expensed $168,697. And most of that is the tournament, as you would see, all listed down, which left us a balance of $44,722.87 in our bank. And then in November, we started out with $44,722.87. We got $619 in deposits, and we expensed $722.13. So right now we have $44,693 in our bank account. So I have talked to US Bank. As you see, we've been getting like 19 cents interest on our checking account. And I am tomorrow going to open up a money market account that goes along with our checking account, that money can be moved back and forth. And we can get 4.5% interest if we have over $25,000 in it. So I think it's kind of ridiculous to keep $44,000 in a checking account that just sits there and it's not drawing interest. And Darren approved that I could open that account. It will be within our account with US Bank.
So we're opening a savings account to earn us more interest, and I think it's a really good thing.
So, the other thing is I'm begging people, please, will you cash your checks? We still have $910, or actually $900 from April and October that they have not been cashed. And it's really ridiculous that we have to keep sending information to people. And we got quite a few people that had come to our tournament. We hunted them down and wrote them new checks. But I still have two from April, a Joshua White and a Harold Dillon, that I have not been able to get a hold of. And I'm not quite sure what to do with those funds, if I should send them to the state of Oregon or just leave them on the books.
And that's from April? That's from April?
Yes.
Okay, so does anybody know Joshua White or Harold Dillon? If so, please ask them to contact treasurer@westernbca.org. Jackie Mays, okay?
Darren
Okay.
Christie is Josh White, so she's going to contact him.
And tell
Okay,
him to
good.
email Jackie Mays, treasurer@westernbca.org is what she needs to tell him.
Will do.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think
Um,
that might be Hank Dillon, one of mine, maybe.
It was made out to Harold Dillon, so I don't know. I can't tell you that.
Okay, I'll see if it's the same person.
And have him
Alrighty.
email Jackie.
If you, it's Johnny, I can send to you what the address is after, I don't have it right on me right now. But when after the meeting, I will send you the address and that way we'll know if it's the right one. Okay. So the other thing I just wanted to bring up is I am going to be leaving. And I want to tell you that this is getting very cumbersome as far as during the tournaments. I've heard that you guys are talking about putting Fun Day on our books, which I think that you're opening a can of worms. If you do that, you're going to have payout people there for longer because they're going to have to come in a day before so that they're all set up and ready to go. They're going to have to write checks to Fun Days, and it's going to be more 1099s. I think that if you would keep it Fun Day, it's like a tavern tournament. It's a fun tournament, and it's not the championship part of it. I just think it's a mistake. I think if you guys keep going, bringing all the books in, you're going to end up having to hire an accountant because it's pretty time consuming. And you can see how much is paid out in like October. And that actually is our slowest tournament. So it takes me a good 2 weeks just to get balanced before the bank statement comes out because there's a lot of transactions that happens there. So I just wanted to bring that up, that I think it would be not a good idea to put Fun Day on the books. So
by that, she means collect entries on the website is what she's talking about.
Because
So,
if you collect entries, then you're going to have to pay out in the books. And so therefore you're going to have to send out, which might bring people up more for the 1099s. And I think right now I have 150 1099s that I have to send out, which is pretty spendy. So it's just a thought, something to think about. And I guess that's it. If you have any questions?
for Jackie? Same thought. I was thinking. Any questions for Jackie?
Thanks
Okay.
for all you've done for Western BCA, Jackie.
Oh, you're welcome. It used to be fun, but it's kind of hard living here and flying all the way back.
I have my hand up too.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for all of your work, Jackie. Love you. Hope you have
Love
fun
you
in
too.
Kentucky.
Thank you.
Okay. So Bob Olson, you're next.
Yeah, we have about 4,200 members this year. That's $63,000. We only have 44,000 in the bank. It's my understanding that whatever we collect this year is supposed to be used for next year. And it seems like there's been some money spent for this year was supposed to be used for next year. Could you explain the variance?
Oh, I think it's because he keeps putting more into the payouts. Each tournament is why. He's been
I have
adding more.
Slowly increase the added. Yes, I have.
Yep. That's where the money's going. It's back to our players.
Well, I just want you to realize that we're spending next year's money this year, and that's not the intent. I'm done.
I only spend when I've been asked to spend on. So you know what, that's something you have to talk to the people that
and
tell me to pay.
Jackie, I understand that completely. I'm a controller. The owner spends money sometimes I'm not happy with, but I do as I'm told, and I certainly understand that. And it clearly has nothing to do with you and what you've done for us. And I, for one, have appreciated you as much as anybody in the Western BCA for doing all the work that you've done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to
I've enjoyed
reiterate.
it.
I want to reiterate that fact. You know, Jackie came to us at a time when we had a treasurer vacancy and stepped into the role without any training from the prior person, and she really took the bull by the horns and really figured out the job with Darcy's help and has done an outstanding job. I can't be more pleased with her as treasurer. She was amazing. I'm very sad to lose her, to tell the truth, but I also understand the importance of being with your family in Kentucky and doing what she's doing. And I just can't thank her enough for her years of service. I think we should all give her a round of applause and say thank you.
Well, you're welcome, but I will train whoever takes over for me. I know who I want it to be, so I will be at her beck and call for that first year to get her through it. So that's up to you guys.
Okay. Next up, thank you guys. Next up is the board report. That would be Stephen Weekly.
Does the secretary get a statement?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking right at the word and I read right past yours. I'm sorry. Please, Julie.
I do actually have something this time. First, before the statement, actually, Darren, can I go back to something you said in your statement?
Sure.
Where's that pool table?
It's in a storage in my office in Sherwood. I manage a company in Sherwood and I store it there.
And we still haven't sold it.
Correct.
I was under the impression that it was out of storage because it was sold.
It was supposed to be. It came time to pay for it to get the table. He did not pay the money, so he didn't get the table.
Okay.
If you don't pay, I told him he can have it. Just pay me.
Right,
Pay
right.
Ozzy, and Ozzy will text me. Once he texts me, then it's yours. But when it came time to write the check and hand the money, that's where something happened. I don't know. He wouldn't give up the money. So.
Okay. So we should be advertising that and doing something actively to sell it.
Okay.
My secretary's statement, all I really need is I would like it, can we go over the current committees and who their members are? I don't have that listed anywhere and it seems like it should be something I have.
Okay. Probably the best thing to do is post it on the website on the meetings page. Would that make sense?
Yeah, can we not go over that list real quick? I mean, it's not that many, is it?
Well, there's a tournament competition committee. That's Stephen Weekly is the chair. The payout committee is Kamitha, Arlen, myself, and the board chair and the vice president is on payouts. Let's see. The dress code committee is you. I don't know all the members of every committee off the top of my
I
head.
don't even know that I have.
So the dress code committee is you. Trying to think of the other committees. The contract committee is Stephen, Tammy, Sam, Bill Henderson, and myself, 5 of us. Bylaws committee is Bill Henderson and Lawrence, and I'm not sure who else, myself and possibly Sam, I think. Yeah, I just
Hall of
didn't.
Fame.
Huh?
Hall of Fame.
A Hall of Fame is led by Clay Belvoir. He hasn't picked all of his committee members, to my knowledge.
And
what
then
do you
the tournament committee, that's Stephen Weekly. And is that also the competition committee now too?
Yes, it's combined into one committee at the May meeting. Yep. Am I missing any committees? I'm sorry if I am. I'm trying to think.
And who's on the tournament committee besides Stephen?
Stephen? Will you address that, please?
The members that I have are Bob Olson, Jackson McDonald, Tammy Conabear, myself, Lawrence Frampton, and Ed Slade. Did I miss anyone that thought they were on it?
Bob Olson, Jackson, Tammy Conabear, Ed Slade. Did I miss someone?
Tammy Conabear.
I'm actually on that committee.
Okay, who's this? Oh,
Michael.
I did. So that's why you haven't been getting anything.
This is embarrassing, but I didn't know I was on the committee.
And who oversees the committee?
The chair. And I'm supposed to be CC'd on all communication from all the committees. I'll tell you the truth, some chairmen don't CC me on everything, and then I usually replace them after that.
And we're gonna be sending out all the cap information basically right after this meeting to everyone, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
And has there been any communication through the tournament committee? Because I haven't received anything.
Not lately, no. The only thing we did was the caps from last session.
Any other questions, Jules? Am I missing anybody?
No, I'll save the rest of mine for the board report.
Hey, Julie and everybody on the team here. Lawrence has asked 2 questions. Lawrence is asking, who do we contact when you can't get in, when the voting thing isn't working? Who is it, the person in chat that we want to message again?
John Elder.
John Elder. Okay. And then the other thing is in chat, I'm going to put a link, and this link is if you're on a committee form, please fill this out. It just says what's your name, what committee you're on, with your name and your email address. That way, I think that that's going to help Darren have a list and all of us, and then we can easily put it on the website too of who's on what committee. We won't include the phone numbers and emails. That's just so we I had this problem with the voting one that I didn't know who was on the committee too, and this I think will be really helpful. All right, so back to you, Julian. Darren.
I have a quick question. This is Linda Knight.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, I was on a committee a while back with Ed Slade, but I haven't heard anything about it in a long time. So I don't know if I'm still on it. Huh?
What committee was that?
I don't know the name of it. It had to do with caps.
Either the tournament competition committee. So
yeah, the competition committee.
Yeah, let me address this. Every year at the annual meeting, okay, one of my jobs by the bylaws is to appoint the committee chairs. Okay, so I appoint a new committee chair because I have to. I can appoint the same committee chair if I'd like. When I do appoint a new committee chair at the annual meeting, that committee chair, with the help of whoever's at that meeting that volunteers to be on the committee, gets put on the committees, generally speaking. So, yeah, the committee chair picks the members, and we just want people who, number one, will participate and be active, and not just, we want people to be involved in the committees is all we ask, and, put in some work and pay attention to it. So I think when we changed committee chairs, Linda, the new chair did not either know you were on the past committee or didn't pick you, or didn't, I suspect he didn't even know. So.
Okay, that's fine. I just kind of went away and I just didn't know what happened.
Yeah, they often change at the annual meeting. They always
Okay.
will.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
I just took volunteers that were at the meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
I had a question about the new voting system from earlier. I'm kind of wondering why the new voting system was implemented, for one, and for two, do we have to actually be registered, like logged into the Western BCA site, with the same email that we're logged into Zoom with?
No, you can use a different email, but it was implemented because we have some special elections on this agenda, and the way we do elections for elected positions, we have requirements within our policies and procedures for elections to, if you vote for person 1 or person 2, Michael, we don't know who you voted for. So we basically have to have an anonymous system, but we also have to have what's called an authenticated system, meaning only people who are checked in at roll call as registered voting members in attendance. So we have 110 player reps or 120 roughly voting members, but only 60 of them are here today. Let's say 50 or 60 are here today. Only those 50 or 60 can vote. The other 50 that are not here can't vote. So you have to do 2 things to vote: show up to the meeting and be a voting member. So so we had to build a system that authenticates yet anonymizes the data. So when the officers count it, if you don't vote for me, I won't know. So that's basically it. Julie won't know if you didn't vote for her. So we But we also will know that only these people in attendance were allowed to vote. So that's why we had to put it behind an authentication wall.
So who will know?
The people in attendance are eligible to vote. We know who can vote. Only those people will be given the link.
He's asking who will know who voted what.
Who's counting the votes?
The computer will generate a report and give it to Julie. And she'll announce the results.
Are we still on
Okay.
the secretary statement?
Okay, thank you.
Don't think so.
All right. Let's, I think we're done with the secretary's statement. Is that right, Julie?
So I thought we tabled the voting last meeting that we weren't gonna be voting on that. We weren't gonna be voting.
We tabled the
And I
change.
thought it was tabled.
The change to the bylaws was tabled. So we are not trying to, if you read the bylaws under section 14, you will see clearly that voting electronic means is allowed on regular and special meetings. It is not allowed at our annual meetings. So the agenda item that was on.
That's not what it says.
Read
That's not what it
section
used to
14. I
say.
read
Did
it
we change
twice.
it?
Go to westernbca.org/bylaws. I read it last night for 5 times. I got a screenshot on my phone. I promise you.
Why did we have it on the, why were we trying to change it if it was allowed to begin
Because
with?
it's not allowed in annual meetings, and that's where the elections take place. We had to change the bylaws to allow it at annual meetings, because the bylaws specifically state.
So why do we have a committee for voting? Do we have a committee for voting? I swear we did, didn't we?
We did, and it
Yes, we
never
did.
met and didn't function as a committee. The chair never held meetings, so we had to pretty much dissolve it. So
Yeah, I know,
we
because
tried
Tracy was on that meeting and nobody ever got a hold of her, and she contacted you and a couple other people in the process too, and didn't get no responses.
Yeah,
until
the chair's
October.
supposed to lead the committee. I just get CC'd and follow along with the rest of you. I mean, I don't know why the chair didn't lead the committee.
So
I
the chair
apologize.
didn't lead the committee because there was a family emergency with the one that was gonna be chairing it. And then by the time I found out, it was during 9 ball. And then when I found out, I didn't know who was even on the committee. And then we, all of a sudden, we just didn't, it became today. So I totally agree with you. And that's why I put that post in chat to please fill it out. That way we know. So if somebody can't come, it's easy for somebody else to just take over. And just like what Linda's saying about not knowing, like what committee she's on, this will all help all of us. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Sean.
All right, so I think we're ready to move on to the board report.
I don't know. I still have a question about this because I can't find it on our bylaws. It says any regular or special meeting of the association may be conducted through use of electronic means, which all members participating may simultaneously hear each other, but it doesn't say that about voting. That's why we
Electronic
had
means is voting. Electronic means is voting. Electronic means. What do you think electronic means?
Zoom. We're allowed to have Zoom meetings. That's why we had a committee to change the bylaws and to come up with a way to vote anonymously.
We just voted verbally a few minutes ago. We've been voting on Zoom electronically.
Elections, Karen.
Means. We've been voting electronic means for 1.5 years on Zoom, or 2 years. I don't know.
Not
exactly.
elections.
I understand, but elections, in order to vote at the annual meeting, we have to change that paragraph to state annual meetings, and can be conducted by electronic means. That's why we do face-to-face meetings versus electronic, because we are required to do face-to-face, not because I'm a jackass. It's because I have to do it that way.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what we should be doing now.
Regular and
That's what
special.
Sean is saying.
Regular and special meetings can be conducted electronically, period, full stop. And this is a regular or special meeting.
Yeah, okay. You said voting was allowed to be electronic, and no, it's not.
We
There's
Point of
nothing
order.
that says voting.
Point of
ahead.
order.
Go ahead.
Who's that?
It's Arlen. You guys
Thank
are going after, and Darren, what I'm interpreting what you're saying is, yes, we can have electronic meetings, not elections via electronic vote. That's how it reads in the bylaws, is we can meet and discuss, but we can't, there's nothing in there about elections. And that's what you're wanting to get changed
It's
for the elections. Am I correct?
electronic means. Read the sentence to him, Julie, please. It says meetings can be held by electronic means.
Correct. The
Meaning-
meetings can, not elections. The
If it was
meetings, not
allowed-
elections.
No.
All these interpretations are incorrect. Anything that can happen at a regular meeting, which means the meetings electronically, can happen. The wording in the bylaws doesn't include annual for some reason. Back when we wrote it, 20 years ago or 25 years ago, we didn't know that we would be having Zoom and be allowed to vote and everything. So electronic covers everything, including the voting. For some reason, it didn't include annual meetings, and that wording changed. Elaine Eberly was waiting for the voting committee to come up with a way to electronically vote before we actually add that to the bylaws. But you're allowed to perform everything electronically at the meeting that you normally can when you're face to face.
So that's your interpretation.
He's in charge of the bylaws, he's the bylaws, policies, and procedures guy for our organization. His interpretation of the bylaws.
So
is
that's
what
his
we go to.
interpretation. It doesn't mean he's always right.
We have to have some person in charge of these things. We used to have, I think, Robin a long time ago, and Sam's been appointed in charge of the policies, procedures, and bylaws. So, I mean, that's how it is. So his interpretation and how I interpret him, I go to him with my questions. Hey, Sam,
So is there anybody that's going to see the report and know who voted for who?
You will see, not together, you won't see that Darren voted for Julie. You will see that there was a vote.
Nobody will see that.
No.
So am I right to say that our committee that we discussed in February, the one with Miggy and Nikki and Elaine and a couple other people, that is now null and void? We don't need to worry about that anymore.
Correct.
Because we are already proceeding with the electronic voting as of today.
Correct. Because when a committee fails to meet, it's my job to replace the chairman and make this thing happen. Correct.
Ken Lawrence has his hand up.
Lawrence, go ahead.
Sorry, we can't hear anything on either mine or Sean's. Somebody has something.
Lawrence,
I know that
Go
we
ahead.
get caught up in the whole. We get caught up in the whole. Well, it's not in the bylaws. It's not in the bylaws, but is it in the bylaws, right? The problem here.
Everybody, mute yourself. I can't hear Lawrence.
The problem is you can't say, well, where does it say that in the bylaws? Well, where doesn't say it? Where does it not say that? So you can play either side of these things, right? It's electronic. It means electronic. That's just my opinion. I was working with Sam and everybody else for the last, 3 months or whatever on these bylaws. It's electronic. So we can use whatever means we need to electronically to get the job done. The conversation is getting longer and longer as we go on. So I'm done.
My concern is the means that we don't have. This is not a proven method. And I guess we're going to prove it and try it out on a board election and treasurer election.
Sam's got his hand up.
Hey, Darren, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Sam.
Sam,
It's hot. Okay, section 14, alternative meeting venue. Any regular or special meeting of the association may be conducted through use of electronic means by which all members participating may simultaneously hear each other during the meeting. Now, 2 things to add to that. The problem is that it didn't add the annual meeting to that. That's what Elaine Eberly's motion was going to fix as soon as they figured out how to do it. So the problem with that, or not the problem, the point I want to make is that any regular or special meeting, which means everything that happens at those regular or special meetings, everything like voting. Okay? Are we all good?
Yes, we're good. We're moving on. We have no choice.
Okay.
Now is the board report is next. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Stephen Weekly. Please continue with the board report. We've got a lot of stuff to go through, folks. We're an hour and 15 minutes in.
Okay, so I got a couple sections here, so just let me get through all of it and then we'll take questions at the end. So I just got the WBCA Board of Directors report dated 12/3/23, prepared by Stephen Weekly. So the following topics are currently in active discussion with the WBCA Board of Directors, which will now be referred to as BOD. Item 1, transitioning all of our current vendor agreements to WBCA generated contracts. This will include all merchandise vendors at our events, as well as streaming services and table supply / tournament direction, which will now be separated into 2 different contracts. Requests for bid will be sent out to potential streaming partners and Bad Boys Billiard Productions shortly to hasten the contract negotiation process. It was necessary to opt out of the current contract with BBP in order to split the table supply and tournament direction duties into 2 contracts, which the BOD and executive management team has deemed critical to maintaining the best tournament experience for our members. We have already supplied the tournament dates to BBP, Bad Boys, for the next 4 years to allow them to block out time for our events in their schedule. The merchandise vendors and streaming service contracts will be issued on a per event basis, as always, as there is always some turnover in the vendor rosters from event to event. As in years past, existing vendors will again be given priority for upcoming events. Item number 2, it was brought to our attention that there are Canadian members currently playing in Canada as divisions of US-based WBCA leagues. Upon review, we have found that the vote which was meant to ban Canadian leagues does not cover divisions of adjacent WBCA leagues. The issue at hand is the ability of league operators to expand their leagues. We currently have a division in Nevada and will soon have 1 or more divisions in Montana, which, by the way, we've actually had in past years. So allowing select league operators to expand their coverage areas while trying to limit the growth of others does become a slippery slope. We feel that the only reasonable way to moderate future growth potential is to instate universal guidelines for our league operators. The BOD is currently composing our recommendations of options for both geographical and numerical limitations for the leagues, and we will be providing the recommendations to the voting membership for discussion and feedback prior to the next meeting. Moving forward, this is item number 3, sorry. Moving forward, all qualification exemptions will be reviewed by the BOD prior to issuance. We had an issue at this past event where a player requested an exemption based on circumstances that were reasonable and logical, but were then found to be incorrect after the event. This has now prompted our association to add an additional review process to the exemption process for future events moving forward. Item number 4, the BOD is also overseeing a complete update of the WBCA bylaws by the bylaw committee led by Bill Henderson. Our bylaws have not been updated in their entirety since 2012, and there have been several changes that have been made that have not been entered in, which are currently being recognized. So Bill will be presenting a progress update later in the meeting on all of the bylaw changes. So that concludes the board report.
Any questions for Stephen? One at a time, you raise your hand. And Nikki, help me spot the hands raised. I see Johnny Landis start us off.
Oh, I don't see, I didn't see any, so yeah, go ahead, start with that one.
Johnny?
There you go. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to need some sort of, I guess, division, where to divide Montana from somebody. Because
That's
I
what
still
we're looking into, and we'll be needing your feedback on that. So we're just kind of generally looking into it right now. We will be reaching out to you and basically several others that could potentially be involved. Basically anybody that's an outlying league operator where, you know, you have the ability to expand, whether to Canada, to Montana, to Nevada, wherever. We're kind of going to be reaching out because we want to make sure that everything is fair.
I just, you know, I need to tell this guy something, whether he can go or not, you know.
Okay.
I've got one in Bozeman.
Michelle's iPhone had her hand up as well.
Thank you. Michelle, are you done, Johnny? Or, I mean, is that acceptable?
I'm done.
Contact Stephen, stay in touch with him on that Montana thing. Michelle's iPhone. Hello, unmute yourself, Michelle's iPhone. I'm sorry, I can't even see the face.
Okay. Nope, you're good. Carry on.
All right.
Sam's
Any other
hands up too.
Sam? Sam Rubito, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself.
Mute.
Unmute yourself.
I did.
Okay.
Stephen. So
Okay.
I'm just pointing something out. Historically, Western BCA has stayed out of league operator affairs and how to handle them or to tell them anything of what to do. So this would be a brand new thing for Western BCA to limit a league operator's territory or to try to control their stuff. Now, I'm not a league operator though. You know, if you talk to these league operators, like Doug, I believe is on there. Bill, you're a league operator, right?
Yes.
Bill Henderson.
Tammy is as well.
Yeah. So, you know, as a league operators, I behest you to talk to them and see how they feel about Western BCA being able to control their leagues.
Well, that's the thing,
I'm
Sam.
done.
That's what we've discussed, and that's why I put in here is that, you know, from what we've been able to see, that's really the only way that we could hope to mitigate that. But at the same time, we do realize that we've never traditionally stepped into the role, and frankly, we don't know if we have that, you know, authority or if we even want to. But kind of the underlying solution here is that the whole Canada issue was based upon that problem. I mean, if they're operating as leagues and or as not leagues but divisions as opposed to leagues, there's really not that much that we can do unless everybody just wants to get in agreement with all the league operators and they want to decide to, you know, put in their own set of rules. So that's kind of where we were going with that. And we don't really have a lot of great recommendations at this time because we need to talk to the league operators and just kind of feel everybody out and see what they want. But, you know, we have some league operators that are dead set against it, and, you know, other league operators don't mind. So that's why it's listed as an ongoing conversation at this point.
Yeah, I see two hands up, Ariana Miller and Steve Marker. Ariana?
Yes, if I may, just to kind of continue on that, I know I'm new to the whole BCA thing, but Stephen and Ms. Johnny, moving forward with anything Montana related, can I please be involved as someone that is a very passionate and a pool player in the Montana area? I would like to definitely be involved in that conversation about how Montana might be divided up, what might happen in regards to, like you're saying, the ongoing conversation of how BCA might or Western BCA might be moving forward with it, because I do have some opinions on that as well, just moving forward.
Perfect. Okay. I'll reach out to you after the meeting, Ariana, and get you in touch with Steven and get you all his contact information.
Thank you, Darren.
Steve Marker?
This might not mean much, but back in the day when Andrew was a league operator and Cindy Doty was a league operator, there was a riff between Cindy and Andrew on where the leagues could turn around and play out of and what line of demarcation basically they could turn around across. David Vandenberg from CSI actually got in on this fray between Cindy and Andrew, and he made a determination as to what lines Cindy could cross and what lines Andrew could cross. That's all I know.
Thank you. Any other hands, Nikki?
Yes. Somebody in chat asked, can somebody explain the difference between a league and a division?
Sure.
And then Bill has got his hand up.
Let me answer that question. A league is typically played out of one or more locations, usually more. And a league's required to be 30 players minimum, according to CSI, and we tend to follow that because you have to be CSI sanctioned to be Western BCA sanctioned. We have leagues that have divisions. A division would be a bar location, typically, or a pool room or whatever. And divisions, you know, I don't know how many Tammy has, but like 20 divisions. How many do you have, Tammy? 20? They're just different locations, all under one umbrella of an organization.
Okay, and then on that question also is, if we voted against being in Canada as a membership, and so what was the difference between why that's not being enforced now?
Because currently leagues have to apply to become a member of Western BCA. When the Canadian leagues applied, we rejected their application, except for the unfinished business item we're going to get to. So they were not allowed to be their own league. And if you look on our leagues page, it says who's members. So a league becomes a member, and therefore, in order for a league to be a member, all of their players have to become members. So, so yeah, we don't. If any of the leagues decides to start a division at another bar, they don't tell us. Basically, we never know. And so, if they play out of a different place, we don't know. We just approved that league to be a member of Western BCA. But we don't approve every single location that all the leagues. The one thing we do require is Tammy's league is not allowed to start a division at the bar where Bill Henderson plays league out of, because Bill has a league out of there. So what we prohibit leagues from doing is taking over another Western BCA league operator's territory. That's the only restriction we have. We can't have leagues fighting amongst each other. We had that back at another bar up in Seattle one time. So we've had that happen many times where different leagues start. So
And that was a question from chat.
yeah. So Bill was the next one you said, Nikki?
Yeah.
Bill Henderson, please go.
Okay, I have a league. I'm a league operator, and I'm the closest league to Vancouver Island in Canada. Vancouver Island is quite a bit farther from Vancouver. It's only 19 miles from me, but both of them require ferry trips to get there. Okay, the league operator who has a league up there has asked me about what could be done so that he could join Western BCA. I told him I would have to find out, and I didn't think it was going to be possible. But if we are already having a league, have a division playing in Canada, and if I had a league playing in Canada, a division playing in Canada, because it would have to be a division, not a league. I'm the league operator. If that division came under me, there would be a finite number of people who could even be in that league, because only people on the island up there play in that division or that league now. So what is to stop me from saying that I can put him in as a division, and he can have players play as a division out of my league? I don't see anything that stops me from doing that.
Correct.
Right. There isn't anything stopping you.
There isn't anything stopping any league operator from doing that currently. I think one of the ideas I proposed at our last board meeting was possibly making sure that divisions outside of a league's primary geographical area, so if it's a Washington league, they could not have more than a certain percentage of players in divisions outside of that, because then they wouldn't be a Washington league at that point. So leagues have to be from Oregon, Washington, Idaho, or Nevada. That's where the leagues are allowed to operate out of. Divisions are, like I said, not approved or reviewed. So I think that's something I asked the board to consider in what Stephen's looking at. And because if for example, a Washington league had more players in Canada than Washington, then to me, it's a Canadian league at that point. So same with Johnny, she couldn't have more players in Montana than North Idaho BCA has. So that's what I proposed. I'm not saying it's going to pass, but that's the rule. I'm saying that's what I proposed. So, and who was next, Nikki?
Did you say somebody? Oh, Sean. Sean is one, but I think there's one other one too. But Sean.
I thought we had discussed not having Canadian players. They'd have to come down to the United States to play and qualify, not qualify in a division that they have out of their house in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear that this was discussed, that they would have to come to Washington, wherever, to qualify.
COVID.
If Julie can provide us with any motion that was passed that states that, then I'm sure it was discussed, and you're right. Lots gets discussed at these meetings. That's what discussions are for. But
The
what
whole
was
discussion
passed?
that we had about Canada, I believe that the players, the members, thought we were discussing not allowing them play in Canada. That was what we voted to do. Now, this loophole was found, so that we voted to not allow them to have a league.
Correct.
And they found a way to go around that. And
The guy that's doing
division
it out of his
not
house was
league.
bragging to your team now.
I didn't hear that.
Say that again.
That wasn't me.
Oh, was it Tracy with you?
No, she's in the other room.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well,
it was coming through yours, but we couldn't understand. Okay, all right, keep going, Julie.
No, that's all I have. I think that the letter of what we were talking about, Sean, you are correct. This was just they found a way to go.
They
around
found
it.
a loophole through there, which I'm sorry. I mean, when I have them and I'm playing them at the coast and they're bragging about how they qualified through their house, you know, they just have people come over. Why can't we do that down here? I mean, if they can do it, why do we have to go to bars? Why can't we just have people come to our houses, play, qualify? Can't we do that?
We actually have doing that in Bellingham right now, because there's no other places to play up there that'll hold leagues.
Yeah, so you're doing it out of your home.
It's not us, it's other people up here, but yeah, they're doing it out of a couple residences because there are no bars that are willing to host leagues up there. The major bars all have stopped. So, and yes, just to answer your question fully, yeah, we did look into everything because we were also under the exact same impression that you are. And yes, the intent of everything was to stop the Canadian players from playing in Canada, but the actual vote that took place was based on the idea that we were stopping any Canadian leagues. And then that's why I say when they went to divisions, and that's why I put it into the board report that way. When they went to divisions of existing Western BCA leagues, that is a loophole. They got around it, but it's also the exact same thing as, say, Johnny, for instance, running divisions in Montana.
How do we word it to where?
Okay, so my next thing is okay, this is Canada. So you can have somebody. Can I have somebody from Eastern Canada play and qualify if they're driving over to Western Canada under the division?
It's an adjacent league.
I mean, you figure. I mean, we're only going to Oregon, Washington, California, but we're involved in all of Canada.
We have Nevada as well. No, it'll be adjacent league. And Montana too. So basically, anybody that's in an adjacent, like say, county or in this case, province, that's running in a division.
Does it say adjacent?
That's how they got into it, and so that's where we have this whole overlying thing. Like basically, the Canadian Division League, whatever you guys want to call it, is kind of the symptom of the overall issue, which is just that we either need some sort of boundary, a physical boundary for these leagues for expansion, or we just need to decide that there isn't a boundary and then figure out, how we want to try to control it from there. The issue overlying is that if we don't try to curtail expansion in some form, we're going to outgrow our venue. We're going to outgrow our ability to hold events.
Absolutely.
So
Where does it say adjacent? Where does that come from?
No, that was just that's the justification that they're using, is that if they're in an adjacent area, then they're running out of the league.
But we have no way to say that it has to be an adjacent area, correct?
No, we don't. I'm just saying that was the justification.
That's the point Sean is making, that what's to stop someone from going to a whole different area?
Exactly, which is why we're looking into, what kind of controls we can put in place.
Yeah, so that's something that we should be bringing up in our next meeting. And figure this out about Canada. I mean, at least Canada. The other states, Montana, everything, it doesn't bother me. But, for Canada, that would be one thing that we'd have to bring up. Definitely.
Let everybody know the Montana
information out prior to the meeting so that everybody can see it.
Okay, Johnny, go ahead.
Just to let everybody know, the Montana division was approved by Western BCA. So it's already been through the approval.
No, I understand. I know Montana is. That's okay. I'm good with that one.
Okay, so I think the bottom line is we need rules and things to follow, and in the absence of rules, we follow what we have, and the board's going to work on that and get that to us. I do think I will ask that the board, all the email addresses for the league operators on the website, I think we should go to the league operators directly and get the league operators' feedback as a whole, because we should remember this organization was started by the league operators and we need them happy. as a whole, and we should also have policies and procedures that allow us to work together nicely and.
That is our, and that's how I have it listed on the board report.
So, yeah.
So we intend to get together with the league operators and try to come to a workable resolution, and then we'll get all the information out to the voting members prior to the next meeting.
Yeah, on that note, we will be having a league operator meeting around the middle of singles at the upcoming event. We're meeting with the league operators annually, and I want to continue doing that because it's been pretty beneficial so far. So I see some hands up. Tammy Culbertson, go ahead.
Okay, so in regards to the Canadians, I'm just going to give a little bit of the history because some of you on here may not know that. So during the pandemic, the border, and I'll be quick, during the pandemic, the border was shut down. Prior to the pandemic, they could come across and they could qualify there in at the Village, and I think there was another spot up there in that area. Anyways, then the border got shut down. They couldn't come across, so they couldn't come and qualify. Then once the border even did open up, then those places that they used to qualify out have closed down, so they had nowhere. All the other ones, they were already full with other divisions and such going on. And the divisions are under Players Club Limited. However, then, so once the border was open, and because there was no place that they could go, or they'd have to drive 2 hours one way just to get to a place to qualify, it was okayed for them to do the division out of their league or they're in that area to qualify. It was at one point to be reviewed for after a year. However, but there was still limitations on the border. There was still no other places to go, and so on and so on. So it's still it's a division. It's not the league. It's a division under Players Club Limited. And so I just want to, and I also went back. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of an example. These are how many of the Canadian players that actually come and support Western BCA in Lincoln City. So 8 Ball 2022, approximately 18. 8 Ball 2023 was 13. That was okay. 9 Ball 2022 was approximately 29, and then we had 22 for no, sorry, we had 38 for this last one is all. But there's, I mean, I don't, there's a lot of them that don't come. So, but they've supported Western BCA for a long time. So then after after the year was up, nothing was changed, then it's no, you're not coming in, you're wet. Anyways, it wasn't changed, so it just kind of continued. Anyways, that's just to kind of give a history.
All right, I'm going to keep going with this list. I got Tammy Conabear, Julie, and then who else? Anyone else? Nikki, Tammy and Julie.
Yeah, Tammy, the other Tammy.
Yeah, Tammy Conabear. Tammy, go ahead. Hi, Tammy.
Hello. So I just had two things. One was the clarification. It keeps saying Nevada. Well, the only Nevada is Sierra Nevada out of the Reno Carson City area. So it's not the entire state of Nevada. It is just that little area at Reno, just as clarification. Second of all, you talk about the Canadians having to drive 2 hours to get qualified. We've got a couple of players this season that are driving from Twin Falls into Boise, which is 2 hours once a week so that they can qualify. It's because integrity matters, follow the rules, don't bend them, don't find the loopholes. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie, go ahead. Julie Fraser.
So I just wanted to discuss the contract situation with Rick, with Bad Boys. I received, I think, about 7 calls today asking why the board voted to cancel the contract with Bad Boys. And I just want to make some clarification on that. I'm on the board. I am not on the contract committee. In April, the board decided that we wanted to split the contracts with Bad Boys or whoever, so that we would have two different contracts, one for table direction, table supply, and one for tournament direction. This was decided in April. The contract needed to be canceled with Bad Boys so that we could have a new contract. I, as a board member, was under the impression that the new contract was going to be written before the old contract was canceled. This didn't happen. But it's being said all over Facebook that this was a board decision. This was not a board decision to cancel the contract before the new contract happened. Like I said, that was 7 months ago. Most of the board, or a lot on the board, I'm just speaking for myself, thought that the contract committee would be making the new contract before actually canceling the old contract. And I just don't want to be lumped into that decision. I also think that we need to start looking at our committees. That committee is made up of 2 board members and 2 officers. So there's really nobody overseeing that. I don't understand why in 7 months.
The board chair and president are overseeing it. That's ridiculous.
You're on it.
I'm chairing
You're
it.
overseeing yourself, right?
I put the board chair on it as well. We got the board chair on it. I mean, there's no one who can oversee us. We're the top 2 people position wise, in title wise.
And that is my issue, that nothing was done for 7 months and there was nobody questioning that.
I'm on the committee also, Julie. I'm on the contracts committee.
Right.
And I voted to cancel the contract because it has issues and we need to add things that protect our
I
tournament.
completely understand why the board also voted to cancel the contract, just not at the last minute with nothing else in place.
The board can vote on it all it wants. It has no authority to do that. The contract committee did it all on its own. I didn't know the board was deciding that or even thinking about it. I could care less. I didn't talk to anybody in the board.
Thank you. And that's exactly what I wanted everybody to know, that was not a board decision.
Thank you for clarifying that point. I see another hand up, Bob Olson. We got to move along, guys, because we haven't got to the real item.
We haven't got the agenda yet.
I'll make it as quick as I can. I spoke with Rick Jones this morning. He told he was notified about what, 2 weeks ago, that his contract wasn't going to be renewed via a
This
registered
last
letter.
week, Bob.
Rick
Jones was
Can I speak?
Rick Jones was aware of this at the last pool tournament. Let's just make that clear.
He knew it was going to be a change. He didn't know there was going to be a last minute for him to void the contract. He is not a happy camper. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, thank you.
This shit should have been done in October, revised, figured out, and done. It isn't. And now, as far technically speaking, right now, we have no contract with Bad Boys, none.
Correct.
And I'm concerned about that. And
The
so I think
contract
that
committees is on the agenda next. We're heading to committee reports on the agenda. And this discussion to me was supposed to take place right after the committee reports of bylaws, then grievance committee, then contract committee. This whole subject of conversation is out of order in the sense that it comes up in a few minutes in the agenda.
Okay.
I just think it's silly to skip the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not really allowed to really do it, I don't think. Okay, so we're going to move on to the bylaws committee. We can circle back to contract discussions when we get to the contract committee reports. Do we need a break or we want to keep rolling? Anybody feel?
Roll.
All right, roll. Bylaws committee, Bill Henderson.
Okay, I have a report I wrote it up, okay? And I have it on a file and I could put that file on this, my screen, okay? And everybody could see it. But basically I want to say a couple things, okay? I've been working on this committee since I became a board member again. And the bylaws and the policies and procedures have not been updated since 2012. Okay. BCA has changed a lot of things since then. Oregon law has changed since then. We need to get everything organized and done, and so that we're up to date. Okay. I have a plan to bring this to the membership when we're ready to do it. Right now, we're not ready to do it. Nikki and Darren and I have met with the lawyer, and we got halfway through the bylaws, and we got the next time is going to be January 10th when we have another meeting to finish up going through the bylaws. I think the attorney, she's an Oregon attorney. She works for Nonprofit Law Northwest, and I think she's given us a lot of things to put in our bylaws that will work out best for our membership. Okay, Nikki, can you tell me how I can post this file on this on the Zoom?
Can Nikki share it on her screen would be ideal because she's the admin. I'd rather do that.
Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I don't,
I can't share it myself.
well, who's able, right now, it only lets me be the host and not have co-hosts. This is
Okay,
an
so-
interesting situation that it only lets one person be a host and no co-host on this format of Zoom.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, you
So-
could send it to me and I could pull it up, or I could also put it in, is it like a Word document? I could make it an attachment and people could open the file and read it themselves, and that way they could print it too if they wanted.
Well, that way it would cut down the amount of time it would take to explain everything. Basically, I'm not talking about the new bylaws. I'm talking about the procedures that have gone into reviewing and talking about and revising the bylaws. When the committee gets the bylaws done, then I will submit it to the full membership. But I don't want to have it out there when it hasn't even been, some of it hasn't even been approved yet or reviewed yet. Okay, so basically Sam and Lawrence and I have done most of the work. Okay, if there are any other members who are on the bylaws and policies and procedures committee that wants to get more involved, send me a text and let me know, or an email and let me know, and I'll put you back on so that you're involved more. But several people have said they wanted to be on the committee and really haven't done anything, and two of those people are board members, so it's very hard to get people to work on issues. I just happen to have a lot of experience, and so I've done a lot of things as far as changing the policies and procedures. It's unfortunate that we had a person who did a lot of work in this area, and that was Robin Iredale, who I was, she's from my league. We used to drive down to the meetings and do a lot of work. And Robin was involved in so many different areas. Okay, the website, the ordering of the shirts, but the main things that she did were that never got replaced were policies and procedures and bylaws. And right now, the membership has voted to change some things on the bylaws, and it never got in there. I mean, right now, Julie's a member of the board, and even though it was voted in, it's not in the bylaws. Okay, so we need to update those things, and we're working very hard to get it done. Okay, so anyway, I'll send this speech I was going to give, but we're running really short on time, so we need to do it quicker. So you can text me or ask me questions later, but that's what I'm working on. And I would like more help if I could get it. If anybody else is interested in working on this, that would be great. Okay.
And Bob's got his hand up. Bob, does that mean you want to work with him?
What do you want, Bob?
Yeah, I'd be happy to work with it. I've been in business for 40 years. I've read hundreds of contracts. I know that it's in good hands in Bill and Nikki's review. But I'll be more than happy to help where I can and how I can. If you want
Okay.
to send me the current bylaws, the revisions, I'll look it over and give you my opinion.
We're
whatever
currently
else you
doing it on Google Docs. Okay, and we've been working with the lawyer, and she got about halfway through reviewing some of them. She had some great ideas that we could put in our bylaws that are up to date, legal, and everything else. There are some issues that we got to deal with, and that's the part that the membership is going to have to make some choices about how they want to go.
Well, I'll
But
be
yes,
more
I
than
could
happy
use
to
more
help.
help.
Yeah, I'll be happy.
That'd be
to
great.
help. I'll get a hold of Nikki. Since we're local, and she can get me involved in it.
Okay, Nikki, I will send you this file, and you can put it up, I guess, or do I need to
Okay.
send it to Darren? Somebody
Yeah,
needs
have
to.
me on it as well, because I can, if she can't share the screen, I know that I can share mine. Send it to both of us, please.
Okay,
Well, are you
I already
wanting-
sent it to you today, but there's only two little
then I have it.
small corrections. I use a they and I put in vote instead of voted.
I
put
have
in
it
the
on my
instead of
screen
they.
right now if you want. I mean, if you want me to share my screen, I can.
Put it up there. Can I make the changes or show you where they are?
It's okay.
Oh, we don't need to make the
Please
changes.
forgive a typo. He's fixed the typos,
It's two
okay?
typos. It's not
He
big.
fixed the typos. Oh, I guess I can't share my screen. Only you can, Nikki.
I
so-
just don't know if we need to share the screen right now. If you want me to just send the files to who wants to look at them right now, because that's what you want to do, right, Bill? Is you want this? You want it
I think
sent to Bob and
I think
anybody that wants
everybody
to work
should
with
see
it.
this.
Okay,
Okay,
then-
I would, let the people after they read this, have questions and stuff. But like I say, it's quite a long, speech, and, I think we should curtail it or shorten it.
Okay, so should I put it on the screen where everybody can read through the whole thing, or just put the attachment down in chat and anybody that wants to open it and read through it has the ability to see the whole file?
I think that would be best.
Okay, I'll put it in chat in just a few minutes. Okay, keep on going, guys. Thanks.
Okay. I'm done.
Thank you, Bill.
And Bill Henderson, Shirley Morgan said in the chat she'd like to work on bylaws.
That'd be great.
Are you done with your report, Bill, or no? She's sharing.
I think I am. I think that covers it. If that file gets out there and everybody can read it, then I think I'm done.
Okay. Do you want me to share it on the website as well, or?
That'd be fine with me.
Okay, send me the one without the typos when I put it on the website. That'd be great.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, next up is grievance committee, Jackson or Nikki. I wasn't sure who's going to address that.
Yep, it's me.
Thank you, Jackson.
So regarding the grievance committee, we had an incident that was kind of a buildup of a few different things over several months, kind of culminated at the last tournament. The board and officers issued a suspension to an individual based on code of ethics and conducts violation. That suspension was appealed by the individual. There was then a grievance committee put together of myself as the chair, Nikki Bisconner and Bill Henderson. We reviewed everything. We met with the specific individual and went through the appeal. We then took all that information, did a second review, and came up with a final decision, which still resulted in a suspension, and made some gestures to the individual to keep them in good faith with BCA. So without giving, I'm not going to go into detail on anything that that individual would need to be here to discuss that. But just want to let everybody know that that was the process. It was brought to our attention. The suspension was issued. That was appealed. We reviewed it and revised the suspension and moved forward. So just wanted to make everybody aware of that. That's all I have.
Any questions? Otherwise, we're going to move along. All right. Next up is the contract committee. This is where everyone wanted to skip ahead. So the contract committee met about a week and a half ago and voted to cancel the Bad Boys contract. I think we kind of already covered that. And that was primarily at the request of the board to change the language. We feel having two separate contracts going forward is the right way to go. We started a Google Doc of the past contract with Bad Boys, and we started working on it and suggesting the changes and separating them out. That Google Doc is not finished, and it's in progress. And we also had discussions about the casino contract. So there's quite a few people concerned that we don't have a contract for tables. I feel strongly, number one, that we want to stay working with Bad Boys. However, we also want to only do so under two contracts and not one. So at the end of the day, we're going to try to get what we want. In the event Bad Boys will not sign it, and we don't have any intentions of putting stuff like poison pills in there, so they won't sign it. At least I don't. And I feel strongly that if for some reason they wouldn't, for those who recall the last issue with Diamond and Predator, Diamond will help us get Diamond tables if Bad Boys won't. And we're not trying to do anything to Bad Boys. There's just a bunch of paranoid, weird people thinking we are. And we're just trying to get our language the way we want. So that's all I can say. That the committee's not done. We are hopefully going to have a new improved casino contract that would help our organization financially. I haven't seen it yet, but we've discussed it in October, and I'm hoping that comes through. Any questions?
Just to add a little bit of clarification on that, Taryn. The overarching reason of changing contracts is due to the fact that we were utilizing a vendor provided contract that had a lot of language in it that tied them to CSI and others. It also favored them heavily in the contract language.
That's not true. I read the contract. CSI was not connected to Bad Boys in this.
Hold on. We'll have you up in a second. Yeah. Michelle, it'll come right back to you in a sec. Just raise your hand.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that have been a part of contracts, I as well. It is never a good idea to have the person or vendor that is providing the service to own the contract. We want the contract as ours with our terms, and then negotiate from there, not the other way around. That's how it's done in business in 99% of the cases. So that was the whole reasoning behind changing contracts. And to do that, we had to cancel this contract by a certain date. And then, yes, we were not prepared to renegotiate. That's unfortunate. But we did need to cancel it by a certain date. That's why it got canceled. People were aware that this was coming down the pipe. So there should not be a whole bunch of, unknowns out there and people worrying about the situation. People are working on it. That's all I have to say.
Michelle is right. I'm going to have her talk to the word Q Sports or CSI does not appear anywhere in the Bad Boys contracts. She's correct. Michelle, go ahead.
Yes.
That is absolutely not true.
Really? I'll pull it up.
I read it myself. It's there.
You didn't read it correctly then.
Okay, well, I'll pull it up right now and I'll get the issue settled.
Thank you, Darren.
Yeah, what were you saying, Michelle? Because it sounded pretty important. What was your comment that you were saying?
It was very important. CSI is not associated with Bad Boys, not in this last contract that they're trying to do away with. We should have continued with it, auto-renewed it to save us money. None of this is going to save us money. Two separate contracts and you're not prepared to negotiate. Are you kidding me? I'm so frustrated right now. I can't even tell you.
You're saying we should negotiate a lower price? Is that what you're asking?
We already have the lowest price. It should have been auto renewed. This is a no-brainer. I don't understand. So unless you're trying to push through a different tournament director, we go with Diamonds and Bad Boys the way we had it. Now you've already screwed it up. I don't know what we're going to do now.
Okay, well, thank you for your feedback.
Sean is next on the list.
So my question is, why did we cancel the contract before we negotiated? By doing that, we have now given them the upper hand. So why was that done?
What are our plans in the next 4 months?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I can see you shaking your head there. I see you, Sam.
I know. Hey, do you mind, Darren?
Go ahead, Sam.
The reason why it was canceled was because there was no performance clauses in there that favored Western BCA. They could take all the money from the minis, which they made a lot out of that, and they could charge whatever they wanted. We could have had longer races. We had no control. We were at their behest.
Absolutely, I understand that.
A point of order
that was
to
not my
the
question, Stan. That was not my question. My question is, why did we cancel it? And why did we cancel the contract with them before we negotiated? When you negotiate before you cancel the contract. That way it's there. That way you still have the contract. Now they have the upper hand. They could come in there. They could say, hey, we want all the money for the things. And if we don't have the people there, you know, we're screwed.
What's going on in 4 months?
You know, we have a tournament in 4 months.
Sean,
and everything.
do you know how many times we've had an event at Chinook Winds without a contract? Yet every time we show up, they're there, they do everything they're supposed to, and they have everything out for us, but we don't have a contract. No. It's not the last thing in the world.
So how long have we had a contract with Bad Boys?
Prior to my presidency is all I can state.
I believe it's 2 years. It's towards the end of the 2 years.
So you're saying 3 years ago we did not have a contract with Bad Boys?
Yeah, I'll answer that.
You're talking to the wrong person about that. I read the contract. There was problems with it. There needs to be performance clauses added to it to keep them in check. They're just doing whatever they want. Oh my gosh. Hey, Darren, the chair, can you please mute her or remove her or something? She is being so rude.
She's agreeing with you. She's agreeing with you, Sam. Why are you removing her?
I can't hear anything, and she's been.
Hold on. I just asked her
I don't even know who we're talking about.
To turn Tracy's volume down because it's echoing through his.
Mute all.
Turn the volume all the way down. Or mute your. Yeah.
So, look, I can tell you the last contract was signed February 21st. And I'll show you, I got the dates on there. And I did find the word CSI on there. Jackson was right. And Michelle was mistaken. So maybe she read an older contract that didn't have the word CSI on there.
Thank you.
But the answer is we were almost without a contract a couple years ago when we signed this current contract. The negotiations didn't finish till like February 21st or 3rd, if I remember right. One of those two.
What year?
Saying that the contract does not need to be negotiated.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying the contract shouldn't be negotiated. I'm saying, and when we didn't have a contract, when we did not have a contract, is that because it was already done and up, or was it because we canceled the contract?
We didn't have the contract done when this one was signed. So we were going into that March under a lot of pressure, Bad Boys and us both. Work together to solve the problem. And that's what I envision us doing here today. We don't even have a contract with the casino to have an event in March, okay? Yeah. So these things get negotiated all the time. So we don't have, you know, I mean, I can just tell you that I'm trying to find my document that tells the date, but I mean, it's not to me a big deal. I mean, I will work with Rick to make sure he stays happy and we get him contract language as fast as possible. But
and it's fine. It's not a Bad Boys Diamonds thing for me. It was a whole process of why did we cancel before we negotiated.
Sure.
And I mean, I think, you know, we should have negotiated before the cancellation of the contract.
Exactly.
You know, before we canceled it.
You are 100% correct, Sean.
We chose not to renew it. Yes, we did choose not to renew it. So, okay, let's go through some of these lists. Who do you have on your list, Nikki?
Mike Littman.
Mike, go ahead, please.
Okay, sorry, you there? Okay,
Yep.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm one of the paranoid weird people that Darren referred to earlier. So I just wanted to express my viewpoint on this situation. To my view, the job of the contract committee is not to decide bifurcation of contracts, various directions that are independent of what the voting members want. To me, the point of the contracts committee is to take direction from the voting membership and to go through the process of writing, approving, submitting contracts for bid, all that kind of stuff. I feel like in this particular situation, it was pretty clear from the meeting that happened in April that the voting membership wanted to proceed with not only diamond tables, but also with Bad Boys running the tournaments. And I would have thought that that would have then been executed. A new contract would have been either the contract would have been extended or a new contract would have been written and proposed in a timely manner, signed and been in place before the cancellation of the previous contract. I wasn't aware of the situation until yesterday, and that's why I mentioned it on Facebook. I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything, but I just felt like it was important for people to know that, we are at risk of not having a tournament, coming April. Hopefully that won't happen. I think we'll be fine, but we ended up paying a little bit of a premium for their services this time, just saying. So that was my perspective, and that's why I said what I said, why I did what I did. I do not appreciate, I don't know, it doesn't matter who he was referring to. The general term of referring to people as paranoid weird people or whatever it is, it's conduct unbecoming a president.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your feedback.
Bob Olson is next.
Yeah, I'm really concerned that this negotiation that you're now starting wasn't happening in October at the 9 Ball event when Rick was there, most of the board members was there, Darren was there. Why do you wait till the last week before it ends to void it? I know for a fact it was opened by his wife, and she says, well, we have no longer a contract, and it really upset her. Again, when you renew a contract, you know it's going to end at a specific date. It seems to me common sense would tell you, especially when you're going to meet the guy in October, to try to negotiate it then before now. I'm done.
Okay, I will say, Bob, everyone you mentioned that's there at the October tournament is busy, including Bad Boys. We are working at the tournament. We're all busy working, and that's what makes the tournament happen. So it's almost impossible to have. We can sometimes carve out a half hour, an hour, and we did have a couple of meetings with Bad Boys on other issues. But so there's not lots of time. Everybody's busy in a match is the problem, trying to have meetings at the coast. That's just a fact. You can look at the brackets and confirm I'm right.
Okay, Julie's next.
Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, just to be clear, I agree with the contract being changed. I agree with us renegotiating the contract. And yes, Darren, everybody's very busy at the tournament, but you agree that we have known we were going to do this since April. That's 7 months. We had 7 months to do this contract before we canceled it at the very last minute in a letter. We had 7 months. That's my problem, that the contract committee has known this for months. Our committees are not getting things done. We had the committee for this voting. Nothing happened with it. It's been on the books for a year and it didn't get done. That is my concern, and that is why I don't understand why we don't have someone policing the committees, for lack of a better word. 7 months we had. That's all.
Thank you. Next.
Doug
Schultz, please go ahead.
My question, basically, Mike touched on it. We actually voted like 43-8 to stick with Bad Boys back in April or May, whenever that meeting was. Oh, did the committee?
Having trouble hearing you, Doug.
Doug is saying that we actually voted to go with Bad Boys. Unfortunately, Doug, that was not the wording. Unfortunately, the wording of the vote was that we were not going to accept predator tables. The conversation, however, was all about people wanting to stay with bad boys, but the actual vote wording was we did not accept the offer of predator tables.
Okay, my misunderstanding.
Mine
Oh, it
too.
was all of our misunderstanding, not
Everybody's
just yours.
misunderstanding.
We're glad you brought it up.
Okay,
And
anything
next,
else, Doug? Are you
Bill.
done, Doug? Okay, sorry, Bill.
Yeah, I've been working on policies and procedures, and one of our things that we've been working on is to try and get dates when we start working on these contracts. There's nothing in any of our policies or procedures right now that says you have to get these contracts started at this time or get them finished by this time. We need to look at and have some rules about we have to follow so that we have plenty of time to get contracts negotiated. Okay, and so not only do we need bylaws, we need policies and procedures. And I'm working on all, our committee is working on all of that.
Thank you for doing that, Bill. I appreciate it. Next, Nikki.
That is it. And Vanessa's asking for a call to order, which is perfect because it's the end of this.
We're
the
going to
people
have a
on the
call to
agenda.
the bathroom break, and then we're going to move on. We're about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then we'll take a 5-10 minute break. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, it's hereby ordered. Forget it. It's okay. All right, back in 5. We still need to vote on it.
Let's go.
All I'm trying to say is, how do we handle properly the unfinished business?
Let's go.
I hate the 49ers. Just let you guys know. I hate the 49ers. But I'm rooting for them because I hate the Eagles even worse.
Sean, should I apologize for raising my voice? I don't think I need to, but dang.
Tell her
You're you, Michelle.
Well-
Nobody takes anything personal, I promise.
I don't know about all that.
Except for the Karens and the Kyles.
Okay.
All right, you're good.
God.
Yeah.
This is not a private conversation.
I know it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know what Johnny's making.
Who said that?
Melissa. What are you making? What are you sewing?
I am sewing a Christmas curtains for my kitchen.
Oh, how cool.
For one window. And I'm probably going to be able to complete the whole thing during this meeting.
Does everybody have their Christmas trees up?
No.
Oh.
It's a good thing I'm just chilling at home working on discrepancies today because
There's plenty of time for that, right?
no doubt.
Except this week. Is Steven in here?
Yeah.
You ever going to vote on to let Montana into the Western BCA?
Yeah, I know we already voted to allow that. The whole argument that was being made with the Canada thing was that it was really no different than allowing adjacent other areas. So that was really what it came down to. That's where we just need more clarification, and we need to get together with all the league operators and just get a solid set of rules established.
He's going to have a big league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that right now.
Montana's coming back for sure.
That's a good thing.
What'd you say, Ariana?
I said Montana's coming back for sure. You know, we're already looking for our first session in the area that we're at. We're in Northwest Montana on a Little Indian reservation, but we had 13 teams, almost had 14, and we already on the start of our next session. I'm just a division manager, but you know the way that things are going, I could possibly have Missoula, especially Kalispell, with the way that the bars are going up there. You know, it's and then that's not to include Billings or Bozeman.
Well, if you're gonna let John Lewis in, I say no.
I love that man.
Yeah, right, John.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, and
so
that's
far
kind
away.
of where the whole sticking point comes up with is like, what are the outside boundaries of each league operator? Because, if you look at it, the guys that are up in Canada right now that are playing in a division up there, they're closer to PCL than Bozeman's going to be to Johnny. So
Yeah.
is divisional boundary? I mean, what do we have to have? And that's really what we all need to sit down.
But that's the problem. I mean, my problem with Canada is how far up and over are we going in Canada? I mean, are we going right over the border? You can come and go play, or are we including all of Canada, the whole country of Canada?
No, it's basically what they've been doing is it's the people that were precluded from COVID when they couldn't cross the border. And so basically it's those people that have made their own division. And, we've probably picked up 3, 4, 5 more. I mean, who knows? There's probably a few more there. But then we also had a small group that picked up, I believe, north of Omak. I don't know the league operator's name out of that area off the top of my hand, but I know that we do have a small group out of there, and they have the same thing. When they couldn't cross the border in COVID, they started doing their own division up in Canada as the same. And so that's the whole idea is, it would have to be like an adjacent area, much like the region that we have in Nevada is adjacent to an existing WBCA league. So that's where we really just need definition, Sean. It's not, it's not against anybody, but we also don't want to preclude people from being able to expand their organizations. We just need to set boundaries because we can't have 2,500 people showing up to an 8-ball event.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, well, exactly. No, and I understand that. I mean, and I don't have any problem with Canadians. It's not like I'm Canadian phobic or anything, or anything like that. I'm just saying, hey, it's like Montana. I mean, I can understand Montana, but how far are we going over in Canada? How far are we, in Canada? Because I mean, if you're accepting Canadians, you might have somebody in North Canada that comes down and plays, comes down 3 or 4 hours to play, which is fine. I mean, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. But still, I mean, at how far do we go over and just say, hey, we can't go that far over in Canada? That's what I'm saying. We have to have borderlines.
That's exactly what we need to establish. And that's basically been the ongoing discussion with the board is just, that's pretty much where this needs to go is we just need to get the league operators together and we just need to establish a unified set of rules and boundaries. Absolutely. We also don't need Johnny running leagues out of Butte, Montana. That's 450 miles away.
Yeah,
it's a long ways away.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole thing.
I don't know. I might go play in that one.
Yeah.
We want to operators, but we also.
I'm going to. That's all right.
All right. Is everybody back yet? How we doing? Think we can get started again?
Blast.
All right.
Yay.
Next up was the unfinished business.
I have a question. Can I ask one more question concerning this contract committee? I hear your wording and a lot of what you're saying is we're going to use diamonds, but I heard someone say that we were going to send out a RFP or a request. Are we looking at other people for tournament direction, or are we just?
We have not at this point. No, we have not looked at other people for tournament direction at this point.
We are
other than what we looked at in May. I take that back. What we looked at before the whatever the Predator diet, the stuff I presented already at past meetings, basically. We did look at it back then. We are not looking at it now. But we did look at it back then.
We are planning on going with Bad Boys for our tournament direction.
Yes, we are just trying to split the contracts. That was my board of directors address, Julie, that said that. And what I said was that we would be getting requests for bids from streamers, from different streamers to decide that, but that we would be sending out the request for bid is basically just from Bad Boys for the tournament direction and for the table setup. All we're looking for in that is just to be able to split the contract. And all that's for is just to make sure that we are gaining back some of the leverage that they've had with single point sourcing in prior contracts. That's all that is. It's not.
And I understand that's a frustrating question. I saw a couple faces there, but I got a few texts during the break, people asking that specific question, and I'm not going to answer it unless I know the specific answer.
Yeah, and that needed to be clarified. That's no problem.
All right.
That's
What do people think about the tournament program that Bad Boys brings?
Not right now.
Today, though?
I don't know. Sometime today.
I think any tournament program we're going to use right now is going to have its hiccups. I don't think this one went that badly. And quite honestly, I think that Bad Boys was fabulous in working with us in the issues that we had at this last event to make it run smoothly. Could it be better? Of course. Will it be better? I'm willing to bet it is, but that question right there is what makes people think that we aren't only looking at bad boys right
Exactly.
Yeah, but there were other programs that they could have opted to run as well. They could have run CompuSport. I guess the biggest issue that I would have with it in all transparency is that our members at the last, 5 tournaments have now had their data going into 3 separate systems. And so it would have just been nice. I know they can't run the CSI on demand. That's fine. But we could have run CompuSport at this last one and then tried to find a way that moving forward, if they are going to run the bracket system that they use, I forgot off the top of my head what it is, that we could have found a way to integrate all of this data to where our members would have a searchable format like they used to have in the old CTS on demand. So that would have been my issue with it.
But I thought that that's what we were
They're
trying to
working on
accomplish
that.
with this membership list, that our membership
Yeah.
list isn't even current. So, I mean, if we can't make that happen, that's our issue as well.
What membership list are you talking about that's not current?
The membership that we're using right now, I told you, Darren, I signed in, I'm 1,000 games underneath my robustness that I actually am. My
Oh, you're
Fargo's
saying
not
we
right.
haven't, okay, then we haven't pulled Fargo data since the tournament. Yeah, we pulled Fargo data during the tournament.
I haven't
Before-
played over 600
Yeah.
games since the tournament, so it's been longer than that.
All right, well,
And
we'll try
I'm
to
not
get it
the only
reset.
one, so.
All right, well, let's address that later. Before we get started, I got a text message from Jackie that she didn't address one issue in her treasurer statement. So Jackie, are you there? What did you want to say about year end?
I just want to remind everybody that December 31st is our year end. So anybody that has received money in 2023, please get it into me with names of the players. They will be eligible for all of 24. And any 24 that you are going to receive, please do not send it to us until after January. And that's it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
Right.
wait, can she say that again, please?
League operators who have money due to Western BCA this current year need to get it in as soon as possible. But not if
Before
you're-
December 31st.
And that was just for 2023.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So the next item on the agenda was unfinished business, the request for sanctioning for Rollers Pool League and Mountain Home Pool League. Those 2 leagues applied for sanctioning prior to the last meeting. We, at that meeting, referred it to board for recommendation. We also have an agenda item number 3 under new business. So it's difficult to handle this one in the sense that we should give these league operators a decision of whether they're approved to join Western BCA or declined. I suspect they're going to get declined, but separately down below, we're talking about the division. So I don't know if we want to table that issue or move forward with that unfinished business. I think we just wait for the board to make their recommendations, which it sounds like they're working on. So I think we should probably leave it to unfinished business. Does anybody have any opinions on that decision? Go ahead, Tammy Conabear.
So it is my understanding that the Mountain Home Division didn't even get sent the information regarding this meeting. So Suzanne did forward it to them, but they weren't even informed that they were on the agenda for today's meeting. They've been waiting almost a year for information, and I know that Suzanne does not have a problem with Mountain Home Idaho being a league.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, we could definitely decide
So
Mountain
you want to
Home.
move this?
I'd like to move the whole item, but I think we also owe Mountain Home a decision as well. I mean,
Why can't we separate them?
I guess we can. Can I get someone to make a motion whether or not we should accept or reject Mountain Home Pool League?
Can someone mute? We're getting a big echo again.
It's Sam. Sam, he's talking with one device and I think he's got another device playing the speaker at the same time. Is that right, Sam? Okay, because when you're unmuted, Sam, and you're talking, it echoes real bad with his second device. Okay.
Yeah, I see Tammy Conabear's hand up. I think I saw Brad's up. Tammy Conabear again? Or
I
did you-
would like to make a motion to accept Mountain Home as
there-
a league in Western BCA.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it, Elaine.
Okay. Discussion. Tell us a little bit about Mountain Home, Idaho, and stuff, Tammy Conabear. I'm sorry for not inviting them. I didn't know if we'd address the issue or not because I thought it was a board issue, but.
Well, Mountain Home is about an hour's drive southeast of Boise. It's basically it's an Air Force Base town. The gentleman, he goes by the name Tank, has moved in, opened a billiards hall. They are running some great tournaments down there. They've got a lot of interest. They don't want to drive the hour into Boise. They have reached out to Suzanne, from my understanding, that if you guys don't do it, that may be becoming a division, but they would really like to have their own league.
Okay, and just so everyone knows, their sanctioning form says they have 30 players in their league, so they're a pretty small league out of Mountain Home, Idaho. I saw another hand up. I think it was Brad, maybe?
Yes, it was, Darren.
Yeah, please, Brad, go ahead.
The Rollers League that you're speaking of is a Canadian league that you were talking about. They were about an hour and 15 minutes west of me in Vancouver.
Is that a division under PCL now or not a division?
I believe it's not. You had said that there was 2 leagues, and Rollers being one and the Montana was the other one, and they were applying to be a league and not a division.
Correct.
So you denied the leagues? Yes, but they are not a division as of yet.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so let's continue discussion about Mountain Home. I think since they're within our geographical area, they're a very small league, we should ratify Mountain Home Pool League. Does anybody have a counter opinion to that? Wants to speak up? Anybody?
Rollers is a division in PCL.
Okay.
They are on our LMS system, so they have to be a division in PCL.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you. Okay, so I don't hear a lot of negatives about adding Mountain Home, so let's go ahead and move to a vote.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, Suzanne, there you are.
So I think before this even goes further, I think you guys need to have a little discussion with Tank. And the only reason why I say that is that I'm not sure that he is prepared to sanction all of his players with Western BCA. I don't know that for sure. I know that's been a discussion on his part. So whether they decide to become an actual league out of Western BCA or whether they want to be a division, I don't care. I just feel that we need to, when we move forward with any league, we need to make sure that those leagues understand that all of their divisions that they're qualifying, all of their players on that division need to pay the extra $15.
Correct.
That's just been that's been for years and years and years. We've had people that have said, well, only 6 or 10 of my players want to pay the extra $15. That's not an option. You either sanction the divisions or you don't.
You are correct. That's what happened with Anchorage, Alaska. This body voted to approve Anchorage, Alaska when we contacted them and let them know that all 330 players had to join. they didn't want to do that and have all their players pay the fee. So Anchorage is approved if they want to bring in all their players. It hasn't been unapproved at this point. So I think we should probably approve Mountain Home. And if they don't want to bring in all their players, then they will not be able to sanction as a league. So that they'll have a choice to make. Is that okay? And then I agree with you. We'll reach out to Tank and talk to him. All right. Johnny Landis, go ahead. You're from Idaho.
Tank's a real good guy. So, I mean, he's, yeah, so laid back, you wouldn't believe.
Cool.
I don't know for sure, but I believe Ken Woolsey was trying to start up his own league. Has he been approved by Western BCA? He
hasn't
trying.
turned in a form.
I'm sorry?
He has not turned in a form requesting sanctioning. I can send that. It's on our website under Sanction a League.
Yeah.
He needs to turn in a form and then we vote on it. So
Well,
yeah.
he's trying to get it into CSI first.
Okay.
Before Western BCA, but I think he's run across some where they're going to play in that kind of thing problem, you know. So he may still be under me. I'm not sure.
I would suggest you tell him to fill out the form as soon as possible because that'll put him on like the January, February, our next meeting agenda. So
and then if it doesn't go, it doesn't.
Yeah, you want to get the form in early because we are kind of slow moving on this stuff. So
okay.
All right. I think we should move to a vote unless anyone else has any further discussion. Discussion looks like it's over. All those abstaining.
Where's Mountain Home Pool League again?
Mountain Home, Idaho. Mountain Home, Idaho.
Mountain Home, Idaho. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
It's about 50 miles southeast of Boise.
In between here and Twin Falls.
All
Lawrence has his hand up. Sorry.
Lawrence, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Lawrence.
Unmute.
Here we go. Sorry. My question is why, if we just talked about talking to the guy first, then why are we going to vote on it? He may come back and say no. So it's kind of pointless to vote on it and then go to him and say, hey, do you want to have a league and get everybody sanctioned? He's like, no. So can we just wait to talk to him and then bring it back next? I know he's been waiting. I get that. I don't want him to wait either. But if he's not here and didn't know about the meeting, it makes it kind of hard. You know what I mean?
I did text him. So I would say just vote on it. And if they decide to, great. If they don't, then we just pull it.
Yeah, I just think if we don't vote on it, we're looking at February, March, and these players won't get in for next year is what I was thinking. So if we get him in approved now, even if he doesn't join, in theory, they can play January through March and get into the next tournament. That's what was on my mind.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. I totally get all that. I didn't know that we could take it back later on too. So that's the other part of it. Thanks.
Yes, league, just so everyone's clear, leagues have to apply for sanctioning every year. We do not put the renewals up for existing leagues. So all the existing league operators are automatically approved. So they don't come back to this body for reapproval every year. But yeah, each league is supposed to fill out that form once a year. It's pretty much one of the things they have to do. So, okay. So all those abstaining from accepting Mountain Home, please speak up.
Wait, Aaron, I need the wording of your motion. You have not worded this motion.
Motion to allow Mountain Home Pool League to sanction with Western BCA. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got one hand up, Doug Schultz, before we go. I'm sorry, Doug.
My question was last statement. Can you hear me?
We can now.
Okay. Yeah. You just made a statement that if you said that fine, they can come in, that they can qualify to play in March by January to March. I thought the 8-week deadline had to be done like 6 weeks ahead of time. Is that revised?
If
Slightly.
If let's say we approved them today, okay.
Yes.
They could start a division right now that carried over into the first few months of next year. So
I thought the play had to be done within the year.
Yes.
It does,
Exactly.
according to nationals, because I tried to start one December 1st for that reason, to get new players allowed to make your time, and national said there's no way their system will accept a 2023 going into 2024.
They already started their league way back in September.
Well, but they weren't accepted then.
Yeah, my only question was the
But they
January to
didn't know.
March comment.
Sure. Yeah, I know that if someone plays January through March and has 8 weeks at the time, we require 8 weeks and check for 8 weeks at the time of entry. So if they got them in the current year, we've let people in. Tammy can confirm that, but I believe we have.
I think his question is can they get the 8 weeks in
Yeah.
before the deadline for the beach?
In
Usually
January
not.
and February, yes.
I haven't looked at the
No.
calendar, but I think so.
No.
We haven't announced the deadlines for sign up, but I think so.
Usually it's
We've
5 or
always-
6 weeks ahead.
Yeah, we've always said they had to be qualified 5 weeks before signups or before signups for the event.
Correct.
I mean, I guess the answer, Doug, depends on what the entry deadline cutoff is, which I don't have right now.
Okay. They may want to know that too before. Well,
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So all those abstaining from allowing Mountain Home Pool League to join Western BCA, speak up. Speak up and say your name if you're abstaining from accepting Mountain Home Pool League. Okay, so I have 0 abstentions. All those opposed to allowing Mountain Home Pool League join Western BCA, please state your name that you're opposed. Anyone opposed? Unmute yourself and state your name if you're opposed to allowing Mountain Home Pool League to join Western BCA. Last chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Julie, we have 0 abstentions and 0 opposed. Motion.
Okay.
What?
Before we go forward, I do believe Nikki has let a few people in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I don't have a count of how many people are here so that I can say
Okay.
how many approved.
I got TANC in here.
Don't know what that is.
That's Mountain Home. That's Tank.
Okay.
Tank is in there. Leanne.
What tank what? So I can put him as a
Now a league operator. Tancredi. Paul is his first name. Last name is TANCREDI.
TANCR.
EDI.
Thank you.
Okay, I think there's 3 of them. The next one is Leanne.
Leanne who?
Good question. Hi, Leanne. What's your last name? Or if maybe you're not Leanne, but your screen says you are, hold on one sec. Well, no, Leanne, she's gone now. And the last one that I just let in, there was an Aaron that I let in, but I think that it was just letting him back in, and Scott, PAHL.
Scott Paul, but who was Aaron?
Aaron, it just said Aaron. It was I just was making a list before we were voting to tell you who, so I wasn't constantly interrupting.
Scott Paul, are you still a player rep or are you a guest? I don't have you as a player rep.
And Aaron's in here on mute, and his video or her. Aaron, do you want to let us know your last name?
It says Sullivan.
Sullivan. Chat.
Thank you. Okay.
And Kaylani, is she here now? I just saw her in here somewhere.
Oh yeah, that was one from earlier that I messaged. When you said
Yeah,
no,
I did not get any of the messages, so I haven't looked at any of these.
Yep, I just made a note after that. Kaylani, sorry about that.
Okay, so Kaylani, what's your last name? Isn't it Rayburn?
It is now Paige.
Oh, okay.
I put Rayburn in quotation marks. It's still Rayburn on Fargo. I asked them to change it, but it hasn't been changed yet.
I found you. And Aaron Sullivan and Scott Paul, are these both guests? I don't have them listed.
Sullivan is a guest.
Okay. And how about Scott Paul?
And Tammy's got her hand up when you guys are ready for the next.
Scott Paul, are you a guest or a player rep? I don't have you listed as a player rep. All right, well, I'm just gonna have him put,
Right.
but if he's voting, we need to know that. So you're
Voting yet. We are voting soon. Let me just address one thing real quick and then we'll move on to the elections. Paul Tancredi, are you in the chat? Can you hear me? Paul, Tank? Can you hear me, Paul? I thought you said he was here. Am I not seeing? I'm not seeing him.
I was looking at Scott Paul.
Okay, so that Paul Tancredi is not here then. I don't see him. Okay, all right, never mind. I was gonna let him know that we just voted to accept his league. Okay. Staying on to new business.
Oh, that was Tank. That one was the Tank one.
yeah, Nikki said there was someone TAN in here. Is he not here anymore?
No, he's not on here anymore.
Okay, he's not on anymore. Yeah, I don't see him. I couldn't find him. I was just gonna let him know. Okay, so his motion to accept Mountain Home carries unanimously. As far as Rollers Pool League, we could decide that now or wait till the board recommendation. I think a little bit depends on the board recommendation. So I think if anyone doesn't object, I'd like to keep that at unfinished business at the next meeting, just the Rollers Pool League. Any objections to keeping the sanctioning request for Rollers Pool League out of Canada as an unfinished business to the next agenda item? I don't hear any objections. So Julie, please make a note that the request for sanctioning for rollers is unfinished business at the next meeting.
Okay, and I need to know, can our IT guy tell me the total number of voters we have in here? Because I can't see it.
You mean in this system Zoom or the other system? I'm sorry.
The system where I have them logged in, that people that can vote, I don't see a total of number of players, so I don't know how many we have for votes.
Okay, I will get that for you. John Elder, if you're on, please.
Yeah, give me just a second.
Okay.
So I know how many were in favor.
And then
So,
Tammy Culbertson had her hand up.
Yeah, so while he's he's looking at that. I know the question was about the 6 weeks prior to the event and all that kind of stuff. So April is scheduled for March 30th through April 7th. The week of counting the weeks, the week of February 18th would be the 8th week from the first of the year. And that is 5 weeks. And then the week after would make it 5 weeks prior to the event.
So you're saying there is room to possibly.
There is, but only, I think instead of 6 weeks prior to the event, I think because of where you'd have to make it 5 instead of 6.
And they would have to play. So what you're saying is they could get their 8 weeks in by February 18th if they played
that week. Yes.
And then that
starting
would
the
let them
first week.
qualify.
Yeah, starting the very first week of January.
But there's no leeway there. There's not. They'd have to get it done.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No missing a week. So, anyways, I just want to let you know that.
Thank you. So we just to move on to voting. We're not going to vote yet, but we're going to talk about the elections and get ready while John and Julie work on deciding the vote count. Let's talk about member at large, and do we have nominations for member at large position? And if so, who would like a member at large position, or do you want to nominate someone from the field? And I think we only have one vacancy. Are there any nominations?
I
for
thought
member-
we filled all 5 positions.
Somebody quit.
Somebody quit. Who?
Julie?
Scudder, John Scudder. He quit about 2 weeks after he was elected.
What about,
All right. Do I have any nominations?
Okay, thank you.
for Member at large. Anyone? Ed Slade?
I'd like to nominate Aaron Sullivan for member.
Aaron Sullivan, do you accept the nomination to be a member at large? It pretty much means you could come to the meetings and vote. And we like our members at large to attend the meetings and not take up a spot from someone who would attend a meeting, but we can't force you to do it, but we'd like to. Aaron Sullivan.
Aaron Sullivan used to be a player rep. Is there a reason he's not anymore?
He was? I thought he played in
thought
Doug's
so.
league. Does he play in your league, Doug?
I do have an Aaron Sullivan, but I don't know if that's the one.
He
you're
said
talking
no.
to.
Huh. I don't know why I know that name. I'm sorry. I thought he was a player rep.
Says no, I never was that I was aware of.
But he says, yes, he will accept the nomination.
Okay, so are there anyone else nominated or any other person running for member at large?
Where is he from? Tammy's asking.
He lives in
Aaron-
Fife.
Fife, Washington. And what league is he out? He's out of PCL. He's not out of Doug's.
No, he's not in PCL. I think he's.
What league are you out of?
Well, he said Doug has him.
He's out of Doug's, he says. Yep. He says he's out of.
Which
I
is
do have
what
it.
league? I'm sorry. I don't know off the top of my head.
What, don't you know? I'm sorry. Western.
No, which is Doug's league? Is that Western Washington?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Julie, did you see that message I sent you in chat?
In the Zoom chat?
Yeah. 60 people present for voting.
60?
That's what it says on the attendance, yeah.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote, Julie, or?
Did you close nominations? Does anybody have any questions or, I mean, usually you allow discussion.
Well, I was gonna drag, okay, so, any discussion on whether or not Aaron Sullivan should be allowed to be a member at large? And if Aaron, any discussion? Aaron, would you like to say something about yourself and will you attend meetings and stuff like that? It won't let me, Nikki, it won't let me ask Aaron to unmute. Can you ask him to unmute?
There
he goes. He did it. He did it.
Okay.
Aaron, are you tell us about yourself and are you willing to come to meetings and be a part of the organization?
Yeah, my name is Aaron Sullivan. A lot of people know me through BCA and Western BCA. Yes, I will attend meetings. The volume currently dropped and I'm having a hard time hearing any of you.
Okay.
Log off and back on again and I'll let you right back in. Sometimes that fixes it.
Can you either send a private message to Julie with your email address or put it in the generic chat? We need to get your email. Well, it hasn't been voted in yet. I'm sorry. We will need it once we're voted in. Okay, so.
We'll also need to add him to that members list.
Correct. Let's get him voted on real quick. Is this one, Julie, we can do verbally like we did or no?
Not normally, it's not normally, but I would imagine, I don't know.
All right, it's in the system. This is our first test. Everybody go to members.westernbca.org. And when you log in, you'll see an icon that says to your dashboard that says Western BCA regular meeting. And we need to mark
the vote
at large is open. Did we do that on our end, Julie?
I'm sorry? It says status is open. Member at large seat 1 says status open. I didn't do that, but
I opened it.
Yeah, John opened it. That's what allows the people to see it. So when you when you log in, you should see a vote of abstaining, or you can put your name down that you're voting for. You put your own name, or no, you put the
Gives you
person
vote
you're voting
options
for.
right in.
You write in Aaron Sullivan if you're voting for him, or you abstain.
If you do not see the open vote under your votes section, just click on vote on the left-hand side of the screen again to refresh it.
Does it matter that the date is December 13th?
No, the typo.
Just checking.
Mine doesn't say December.
Mine says December 3rd.
Yeah, mine says December 3rd. Are we all in the same place?
Oh, well, I'm looking at the bottom. Mine says December 3rd. Then down in a white section down below that says WBCA regular meeting December 13th. And then it says open voting panel. I guess
Aaron?
I'm on mobile too.
Aaron, what's your last name?
Sullivan.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron Sullivan. So you can abstain or vote or write in his name. So just that's it. Type his name and hit submit, or click abstain and hit submit. Your choice.
It's hit save, correct?
Say that again?
It's you hit save, not submit.
Yeah, oh, mine says submit.
Mine says submit also, and his name was already in there. I didn't have to type it in.
Okay. I don't know where the hell I am.
I don't know where I am either. I'm on an admin page. Does that mean that I don't get to vote?
Well, you should get to vote, Nikki. Go to your dashboard.
It let me vote, but it doesn't say submit. It says
Those of you that have access to the admin of votes in order to create no votes and things like that, below the admin section, there should be a section that says your votes. If you're not
Right.
showing the vote, if it's not showing up in there,
Thank
click on
you.
vote on the left-hand side and it'll refresh it. The
You
admin
also
section
need to
is
make
not for
sure
voting.
you tap it correctly so it highlights. It'll be a blue dot and then hit submit, or it won't let you vote.
Ooh.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, you have to hit the radio button. Aaron, if it says,
Right.
sorry, Mike, if it says your vote has been saved after you submit, that's good, correct?
Yep, that means it's completed.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
I'm Mike. I don't know if that helps or not. I don't have any place to vote. I'm sorry, guys. I like Aaron though. He's neat.
I like Aaron, he's neat.
Is that voting thing underneath the chats?
I put it in chat. If you click that link,
The
it
voting
takes you
thing
to
is
the
not
page.
it's not on the Zoom. It's on the members page.
I just put the link in chat to make it so you could
Okay.
link easily to it without having to type it in. But that's it.
So we have people here that don't know exactly how to get to that. Is everybody on the members page?
Right.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
Not on the members page. I'm on the Zoom, and I did the Zoom link. I didn't see a members page unless it's a different app.
You click on chat, it'll open up a web browser. If you look at the chat, you'll see a link to vote. We're only voting for members at large. That's correct. We're doing one position at a time.
Darren, can I make this easier?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
Can I just play him as a player rep?
We gotta get this voting system down. We got 2 more elections. You could, but I mean, then we wouldn't have everybody running. So I'd prefer to leave them at this point, because if we had someone else running, that would have helped.
Hold on. We have an issue here.
What? Let me just.
What you hold on a second.
That end on December 31st? Player reps?
Yeah, John Elder, the other item shouldn't be showing as open yet.
Yeah, I don't know who opened them.
I voted on
cleaning
the
that
other
up right
two
now.
already.
You shouldn't have.
It's okay. It'll come back
They
up
were
later.
open.
I'm not
So
sure.
I
who-
had to change the status from pending to open, and then all of the names finally came up. So if that helps anybody.
Who was that? You shouldn't be able to change it.
Be able to change the status from pending to open.
Julie and Mickey and I can, and John. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
who went into the admin section and did stuff.
Vanessa and Sam said they can too. I'm able to edit the voting options.
And I can't open the regular meeting anymore for attendance.
I voted.
And
Hit the attendance button, it still doesn't refresh. Huh?
Nope.
change it too. Susan can change it too. And then Carly, what's yours doing when you're trying to vote?
I don't even have an option to vote, even on my dashboard, nothing. I'm logged into Western BCA. It says, welcome to Western BCA Pool Players Membership System. I have my CSI number, Fargo, robustness, the big blue screen that says Western BCA regular meeting, December 3rd, 12 to 5, but I have no option to do anything.
Carly, on the left-hand side underneath your name, there should be a number. What number do you have there?
12317.
I will look up and see. You probably got a duplicate account and the wrong account has permissions.
It's Carly Watrous, I believe. Watrous, right, Carly?
Watrous.
Once we get the first one of these done, I think the others should go smoother.
Carly, I think they have your first name spelled wrong. Carly, and it should be Carlie.
Yeah. Well, I'm logged in already under my name. I know Darren spelled it wrong on the agenda. But
Carly,
yes.
I know that you said that it showed the meeting December 3rd, 2023, blah, blah, blah. Did you scroll down just a little bit, just a hair farther? And it says.
Yes, I did. It doesn't give me any options.
It doesn't say open voting panel. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
No.
And then Carly, are you a league operator or player representative?
I'm a member at large.
Member at large. Thank you.
Doug has his hand up also.
So we're voting for seat 1, correct, Aaron Sullivan?
Yes.
Yeah.
We only have one seat available, so we can't vote for seat.
I voted on all 3.
Carly, you should be good to go if you log out and log back in.
Yeah, you can't vote on all 3 because we still have people being added. So
Who's the IT person again? What's his name?
John, that's me.
Awesome. We all, a lot of people are in here appreciating you being on here today, by the way. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
I'm good to go. Thank you.
Are you gonna take stuff out to the car? Well, let's get it taken out to the car.
Okay, I'm sorry. Once again, there are 2 options for member at large, seat 3 and seat 1.
Only choose seat 1, please. I thought there was 2 positions open. I didn't know. Yeah, so. All right. Is anybody else still having problems, or have we got it finished?
well, can we address that someone said they voted for all 3 seats?
Yeah, I will clear out the votes on the other seats.
I already did it.
Hello.
So does the dashboard for you guys show 35 people not voted
Okay, hold on a second.
and 5 abstentions?
Just
Yeah.
hold on just a second. Dwayne, you cannot get into the members.
Hey, John, just so you know, it says Andrew Sullivan and Aaron Sullivan.
Okay, let me tell them.
Yeah, with a write-in, there's going to be people typing it wrong. We'll just have to add those together.
Okay.
Darren? Dwayne Payne is on the phone. He cannot get into the members portal because he doesn't have a league that he plays in.
Just tell him to pick a fake league at this point. Any league.
Got it? Okay, he's working on that. All right, thanks, Ren.
He's out of Oklahoma. He's our head referee and he's a member at large.
So I'm sorry, I did not, I got that phone call, so I didn't hear what the count is as of right now. I mean, who gets the report? Where do I get the report?
John can explain that.
It's actually on the screen right now, Julie. I'm looking at it. If you're an admin, it should total it up.
If you're an admin, right next to the edit button and where it's listed in the admin section, there's a little tally icon, and that's where you can pull the report.
It says poll vote report.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at, is that under my dashboard?
Yeah, go to, well, if you go to dashboard, that'll take you back out to the main. And then member at large, open, and then there's the second little icon after open. If you just hover over it, it says view report.
I'm at dashboard, then I go to vote,
Yeah, go to vote.
and then member
And
at
then
large
it'll
open.
take you to your admin page. And then where it says member at large seat 1, go over, it says open. And then the second icon after open, if you just hover over it, it says view report. Just click on that and it'll take you up.
So we have 35 people that haven't voted?
That's correct.
Correct.
That's what I'm seeing.
That's abstention so far.
Really, who else is having troubles and still hasn't voted? Because we're going to keep it open until you guys vote. So I don't want to keep the meeting going forever, but we'll definitely keep it open a while since this is our first time using this system.
So when I try, the only option is to save. There's nothing that's like submit and then confirm or anything like that. So I feel like maybe my vote's not going through, and I'm not sure why. This is
sounds like you are in the admin section.
I hate to interrupt. Julie, did you hear me say I vote yes on Aaron? I don't know how else to vote. I apologize.
Tim can't get on his as either, so he's here with me. So can we do 2 votes? I mean, can they text me so it's semi-anonymous? I mean, they're both voting for this, but for treasurer and the board.
I'm definitely willing to message you, Julie. I am now signing off.
Hey, John. Is that you, John?
Yeah, let me see. What was his last name? I'll just pull up and see why.
That's Michael Deichman, and then we also have a problem with Tim Fraser.
Okay.
I'd really like to get these resolved because I think once it's working, it'll work smoothly indefinitely for the future. So I expected a few hiccups. Hopefully we can get this resolved.
I refreshed the page and it let me vote again. So I thought
Same
maybe I messed it up. So I just re-voted. So I might have voted 2 times for Aaron, which I guess is my vote and Chad's vote because he's with me, but I don't think it should let me do that. So I don't know if it didn't save the first time, but it
I
looked
had
like
the
it
same problem, Nikki. I voted twice because I wasn't sure it went through the first time.
Yeah, it told me that I voted 4 times. So I mean, can we have people on the Zoom raise their hand if they've already voted?
Sure.
Does everybody know how to raise their hand?
Good question.
Yes.
Not in chat, but actually on your screen.
Yeah.
This is Stephanie Crystal. I don't have a camera, so I voted.
Thank you, Stephanie.
I think you can still raise a hand. I don't mean like physically raise your hand. I mean, you can push the little button to have your little yellow hand raised on your screen.
Under reactions, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
Julie, Jim Roberts here. Did I raise my hand properly?
Let me check. Yes, you did. I guess maybe I'll do mine now since I asked for it. I can't find me.
screen does show that someone opened the treasurer election for voting. So just a heads up.
Julie, I voted, but I can't get my hand to raise, so it's Jackie.
No, I'm not on mute.
It's not letting me raise my hand either. I wonder, because I'm calling on hands, maybe?
Dwayne, I see your hand. Were you able to vote?
Yes, I managed to get it to work.
John, is it possible to set up an account to set Tim Fraser up?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking in right now.
Thank you.
Dave said Trina's having problems as well. And Carly still is.
Well, I'm hoping all these people are having problems because we have a whole lot of people that have not voted, so.
With gambling in the new year, visit OPGI.org to explore options and resources for change. We know you have creativity. Story. Something to impress your customers.
Sorry, finding the extra sound is hard with all the hands up. It switches up the.
You're gonna do what for 20 years. Getting the very best.
Just show like a little green box around their thing so it shows that they're talking.
Go to shutterstock.com to create your next project.
Thank you. I pulled up all the faces. That helped.
So I only see 20 hands up.
I see 41 hands up.
Yeah, I
42.
see two.
Yeah, hold on.
But I don't see a lot. I mean, Darren's hand's not up. Jackie's is not up.
Sorry,
Is not
I
up.
voted. I'm
Elaine,
sorry.
Dave, Chavez, those hands are not up.
I'm working on other stuff. I apologize.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that, yeah, you can see whose hand's not up.
I'll try to figure out.
Was Tim unable to log
My
in,
hands
or you just
up.
didn't have the vote option?
I don't think he can log
It is
in.
now, Dave.
Okay.
That's 35, 45, 46 hands up so far.
It's not letting me raise my hand.
Is Ed Slade's hand up?
It's up. I don't know. It must have went down. I don't.
It's down.
You got 46 hands up, but we don't have that many people that have voted. If I pull this report, it shows that we have. Well, now it won't let me pull the report, so. We have 19, 20, 21, 28 people that have voted according to this report.
Do you have to refresh the page?
I got out of it. I just got back into it. Wouldn't that refresh it?
Yeah, it should.
Although if everyone refreshes their page, it should show whether they voted or not, because it'll show that option. And that would confirm for themselves whether their vote was saved or not.
I will say that once I got in, it had me in a different area. I had to refresh before it took me to the voting area. So you're probably everybody's going to have to refresh to get to the voting area if they can't do it or haven't done it.
I have an alternative, Julie, if you want, for like either Mike D or whoever couldn't get in, or Tim. You want me to put that in the chat?
Interesting on
Not
mine.
anonymous.
It shows that I voted, but now it doesn't show any of the other positions, and it did before.
Yeah, these probably disabled them as open elections. They're not open yet. The election's open as soon as we take nominations. The elections should all be marked as pending and not available to you guys.
I'm not
until
even
we
see them
get the
anymore. I
nominations
couldn't
from
see
the
them before.
field.
I'm not seeing all.
Darren, I can't even get in to see the report now. When I go to votes, it just says my vote of Aaron Sullivan has been saved.
Give me
No
just a
vote.
second.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm seeing, Julie.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I was listed as an admin before and I refreshed it to see if the numbers would change. And now I'm no longer an admin, and there was a neat little message on here that someone can see
Someone
all
can
of
get
the
on the
other stuff, and this is fun.
Yeah, but I think that's an admin feature, Stephen. I see that too.
That's exactly what I see as well, and I'm not admin.
That
Hey,
was
does
not
it save-
Vanessa typing that. That was not Vanessa.
Who typed that? Who did type that?
So does save mean your vote was submitted?
Yes, it'll say your vote has been saved.
Well, I'm going to try to go to a computer, but I keep saving it. It tells me I save, I refresh the screen, and it pops back up and allows me to try to vote again.
Are you hitting save or submit?
Save. Let me go back to the
Hitting
website.
submit
No,
and
This is
then
Christy. I'm
submit,
having
submit.
the exact same problem.
No, submit. It is
Yeah, I
submit.
have the exact same problem as well.
Okay, so if you have the option to submit, then you were probably in the admin area earlier when you voted, which has now been limited to the correct people. So if you have the option to vote and hit submit, then please vote and hit submit.
I did twice and refresh my screen and it come back up with me allowing me to select and submit again.
Not saving your vote for some reason. Give me just a second.
and that's the same as for Brad as well.
And I don't know if it's a mobile thing,
Same
so
as
I'm
for
going
me,
on a
I've voted
desktop now.
twice. Yeah, and it's asking me to vote again. And I've
Are
already
you
voted
checking?
twice.
Are you checking the radio button next to the? I think I know what it is. Are you checking the radio button and typing the person's name?
The name's already in there for me.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is this not actually in there?
Oh.
So what happened is, to give you a long story. Okay, so what happened is someone went into the admin area thinking that was where they were supposed to vote, and they typed in the name in the description, and that saved it in the wrong place. So let me fix that.
So I just typed his name in, voted again, and it says my vote has been saved.
Okay.
Means it
So
was-
now, anyone that wants to be sure, go ahead and refresh it. You should have the option for abstain or the option to write in his name. Make sure you're using the form that says submit.
You
And
are
have to check-
correct.
you have to check the radio button and type in the name. And that should save your vote.
This is
I'm
Christy.
at a-
Typing his name over it again did seem to resolve it for me. Thank you.
I'm at a place where it says there are currently no open polls votes available.
That means you voted, I think.
Try refreshing your page.
I logged in, logged out, logged back in, refreshed.
Oh, who is? I'm sorry, I don't have Zoom.
This is
I'm looking
Carly.
at Carly. Okay, give
Carly.
me a second. I'm fairly certain that is because you are not counted on the attendance because your roll was messed
Spelling-
up. So
spelling
give me
of your
just a
name.
second, and I will fix the attendance.
So does that mean my count for the last vote wasn't correct?
No, it just means that it was on the wrong account. So I'm fixing that.
Okay.
Okay, Carly, if you click on the vote button again on the left-hand side to refresh the voting area, you should be able to vote now.
Got it. Oh, that looks way better than it did before.
Hey, Julie, this is Elaine. Just so you know, I voted. It says my vote was saved. I put the hand up and it keeps disappearing just as Ed said it happened to him. I just want you to know.
That is if you do it in reaction. Underneath where you see that hand, it'll be written, raise your hand.
Underneath where I see the hand, reaction. Oh, raise hand. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
So Carly's all good. Anybody else?
This is Raquel, and my screen says no closed votes, and the line that said Aaron Sullivan is black, and then the next line is abstain, and that's all I have.
So you want to check the radio button and type in the person you want, like Aaron Sullivan or whatever, and then click submit. Unless you're abstaining.
Oh, where the black box is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
See 49 hands up.
I can't get to where I can see the report anymore, so I don't know how many we've had.
I got
Ed, are you abstaining? Because I'm not seeing your hand up.
36 votes. I mean, what I see right now, Julie, is 36, 16 haven't voted, 7 have abstained, and then there's 5 others that type the spelling of Aaron Sullivan different.
Why can't I see it anymore?
John, can
I
you-
just need to fix your permissions, Julie. Can you tell me what the ID number is under your name in the upper left-hand corner, please?
3565.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
And Jonathan, I was able to get Tim in and he voted.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think we're getting there, it sounds like. It's clumsy, but we're getting there.
Julie, can you refresh your page and see if that admin area shows back up for you?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, John, for your help.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for you guys' patience. It's good to actually see stuff being used and get feedback real time for a change.
Okay, so when I go to attendance, it says I have admin. When I go to vote, it doesn't let me open up where that report was before. It just says that my vote of Aaron Sullivan has been saved. And then it just says no closed votes.
Okay, I'm going to try something real quick here.
And Bill, I'll have to think of another idea on sending those files because on the Western BCA Zoom page, it won't let me attach files in Zoom. It looks like it does, but then when I try to actually do it, I think it's only wanting to put stuff from the Google, like probably Darren's Google admin page.
Just email those documents to it@westernbca.org and John can put them up as a PDF.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to share the Google Docs. I don't want everybody editing them. It'll get too confusing, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Yeah, good
Sharing
call. I was
Google Docs
thinking
is
of it.
a bad idea.
Julie, can you refresh and try that again?
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for all your patience.
I can see it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're going to close the voting. I'll ask anybody else in the chat or in the.
Wait a second. Why do we have people that have not voted? You have to have, I believe they have to at least abstain. We have 16 people that haven't voted.
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Well, it
Yeah.
matters if they wanted to. I mean, did everybody who didn't vote not vote because they didn't want to?
There's only one person on the ballot.
Okay,
Okay.
Chad,
That may
Chad
not
abs-
be
Chad
the
did not
case
vote.
on our next one.
No, it might not be.
do we
Hey.
have an overwhelming majority of the people on attendance? In other words, if there's
Yes.
60 on attendance.
Yeah,
and we-
I'm fine with this going on. I thought you wanted to work out all the hiccups on this one.
I
So that,
do. So if you have not
obviously Aaron
voted,
is elected.
if you have not voted, please let us know. John, can you figure out who's on attendance that didn't vote, and then we can. Second.
Yeah, that'll take just a second.
Yeah, send that to me of who didn't vote. I won't, So I guess I'll read their names, I guess, or you can read their names. We just need,
Chad did not vote.
okay. All right. What's the tallies you have right now, Julie, for this position?
I have 36, 41 in favor, 7 abstained,
And how many not voted? Write that down as a new category.
16.
Okay, 41, 7 to 16. So we'll count the 16s as abstention because that's what they did, is they abstained by not voting. We will solve the issue. It's not going to make a difference if they all vote abstain.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
So that totals 64 voting members, and I thought we only had 60.
You should have whatever you marked as present in your attendance. John, how many do we have in attendance on the?
Just a second. Let me pull that again.
Just let me finish one thing.
Yep.
Okay. I promise this will go smoother once we get past the first one. Oh boy.
Can we also cross-check with the hands raised with voting members list?
I think if we just have a list of who hasn't voted, we can try to troubleshoot those people. We can try. If you want to count them and tell us how many you got, that'd be great. Correct, Michelle. Some of the 65 in attendance are not voting members, so they are guests.
But they would not be under my attendance. My list of attendance doesn't have the guests. I have them separately.
I think we have people dropping off. That's the trouble. Go ahead, John.
I think what's going on is with the issues we were having with people being admin and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure we got some duplicate votes. So let me run a quick audit on that vote and eliminate anything that's a duplicate or an error, and we'll see what it comes out to.
Okay, then should we move on for right now so we're not here?
I think so. Yeah, we need to get the nominations for board of directors seat and just start the talking part of it. Go ahead, Julie.
Oh, go ahead.
The bottom line is Aaron Sullivan had a majority of the people eligible to vote, and he's now a member at large. Okay.
So
Yeah,
is there
people
two
need-
positions for member at large or just one?
Just
One.
one.
Okay.
So let's.
So Aaron will need to be added to that voting member list.
Correct, and we just need to get Aaron's email address. So Aaron, can you let it? Did we get Aaron's email address?
Won't he have to have a member? Does he have a member account
Yeah.
that he can vote in the next 2 elections?
I know John's doing something right now, but John, when you get a chance, we'll add Aaron Sullivan to the attendance and make him a member at large so he can vote in the next 2 elections.
Yep.
Okay, while John's working on the technology side of it, let's move on to the board of directors seats. Julie, could you please read off the candidates and then we'll take nominations from the field?
The candidates I have are Lawrence Frampton, Tammy Clonabear, and Steve Marker.
Excellent. Are there any nominations from the field? Oh, we can't. All these hands got to get lowered because it looks like everybody's trying to nominate. So if you nominate someone, just do it verbally. How's that? If you're nominating.
Before we nominate, I have a quick question. I know that the treasurer position is only for the remainder of the term, so it'll be, revoted. Is the new board of director position, is that just for the remainder of the term up until the spring meeting when we vote again, or is it going to be for a calendar year? What's the
remainder of the term as well as the remainder of Ray's term? Because Julie and I have to do elections like 3 one time in May and 5. I know when I came in, I took the remainder of someone's term. When I left the board, or when I got
back up at this upcoming election, then
was Ray
would Ray have been up for election?
Ray would be up for election at the next one. So this is only going to be like a position. I just want to clarify that going in.
Thank you for clarifying that. Just so everyone's clear, the board position is for the remainder of the existing, the positions seat that you're taking. And that should be reelected. So you have to run again in May. Also on the treasurer one, her term expires in May 2025 and my agenda says May 2024. That was a typo. But we'll get to that in the treasurer section. All right. Any other nominations from the field? Verbally speak up if you're nominating anyone else